Welcome, everybody, to Dueling Aces for April 22nd, the NFL Draft Preview Show. With us tonight from Birds of the Gridiron, over here to my left, your guys is right, Sam Nelson. Thank you, of course, again for joining us. Adam, current friend of show.
Right? Been a minute.
been a little minute. But glad to have you back, brother. It sounds like things are going super well, so that's awesome.
Work-wise, yes, finally.
That's great. I've actually even heard my friend Dave Nickel also has found himself as a new GM of the Dunhams in Elyria. So
nice.
Kudos to him for getting off that Rite Aid money and getting onto something hardcore.
I'd say so.
So that's pretty cool. Happy that everybody's finding something else to jump onto. But anyway, speaking of jumping onto things, I don't want to well, since Sam had brought it up real quick, I mean, the Denver Broncos are, I think, trying to get every single D-rated quarterback possibly on their roster. I do not know who's left. I mean, Blake Bortles, I think they could probably still get. Sam's eyes are about to bulge out of his head. I mean, hey, if you're gonna grab everybody, I mean, yeah, grab him too. I mean, you're not going to get Matt Ryan because Matt Ryan said, "Nope, I'm done." He did the one-day deal with the Falcons today and officially retired out. So Matt Ryan is officially done for. Matt Ryan, I mean, hey, when you think of Matt Ryan, you think of the Falcons. He had a hell of a run and a good career.
True.
You know, unfortunately, he's just going to be the victim of 28-3 the rest of his life.
Yes.
That's because some head coach screwed up and wanted a pass play, and Shanahan went, "No, run the ball," and no, was overruled, and a pass play that turned around and screwed the pooch again. What is it with head coaches not wanting to run the ball in the Super Bowl to win the Super Bowl?
Seahawks.
We've seen that movie a few times.
Not that.
Marshawn Lynch.
Yeah, we've seen that. That's now the Atlanta Falcons, the Seattle Seahawks, and the 49ers. We got a trifecta now.
And I hate to say this, just not to rub salt in the wound, but two of those franchises are rooted for in your household.
Yes, they are.
Just throwing that out there, bud.
Yep, I know. Trust me, if it wasn't for the fact that, you know, I have a very nice TV and I don't want to throw things at it to break it.
Some people do, though.
Oh, yeah, but I know better. I know better.
At least one of us, though. I'm not one of those people. All right, now, fun story. I may have been a dumb, younger high school teenager. I may have said that the Phillies were going to win the World Series in 2011 after they had that great rotation. I may have saw Ryan Howard ground out, and I may have lost an iPod because of it. I just may have.
But there's no video evidence, right? So then it doesn't exist.
Exactly.
Well, they're on here. There's me confirming it. So yeah. I got a little bit of breaking news out of the Chiefs organization.
Shoot.
Yeah, I think I know what you're talking about, but go ahead.
They just extended President Mark Donovan, General Manager Brett Veach, and Head Coach Andy Reid. They've all been extended.
How long for Reid, though?
I was going to say,
it didn't give the details on the extension. Just their Twitter page came out and said they were all extended.
Okay.
So the fitting theme for the three of us, Big Red, got extended, and
yeah, we're all kind of red.
We're all big red right now.
What up, Justin?
How you doing, Justin? Yeah, that's pretty much at the moment. Zolt, excuse me, Ed, noted something earlier that the odds of Caleb Williams going to the Bears, the money line has fallen pretty much to almost obvious, getting to be even money.
I hate to say it, I might be in the minority on this, but I don't think the kids is all cracked up. I don't think he's going to be that good. I really don't.
And the scary part is the Bears have made it also no secret that the only person they've even interviewed out of the whole first round draft piece has been Caleb Williams and nobody else. So,
like, how do you not at least look, I get it. Caleb Williams has been the number one pick from day one, but like, how do you not at least interview Jaden Daniels?
Oh yeah, Justin goes every year, just about every year, I think, or tries to.
Yeah.
Like, how do you not at least talk to Jaden Daniels at all? Like, here's the thing. I'm not going to talk about Drake May. I'm done with North Carolina.
Well, yeah, and so are the Bears. That's why Drake May's not even in consideration. They learned their lesson with Trubisky. They're not going that route again with the North Carolina quarterback.
Yeah, they've been there, done that.
Yeah,
I would have talked to Penix before I talked to Drake May after the last time I went to North Carolina.
Oops.
But no, but here's the thing too: is technically when you think about it, we actually have 2 Heisman Trophy winners at quarterback that are coming out this year. Because Williams won it, and then Jaden Daniels won it.
Yeah.
So and there's that so-called curse behind the Heisman winners that they don't do anything. They don't, transition to the NFL like as well as most other quarterbacks. So who's the oddball going to be that if, those 2 don't pan out, who's going to be the one that, nobody's given a chance to? Because everybody's already said that coming out that they always going into this draft to begin with, before the season was even over, they said that Michael Penix was the most NFL ready. And then all of a sudden he just dropped off the face of the earth for some reason after the national championship game.
They said that they thought he had a really good combine, so I don't know what happened to him. I think a lot of it with Penix is, I think it's the fear of like how much talent he had around him. Because that Washington roster was stacked.
Mm-hmm.
So I think it's the fear of like, were you this good, or were you just that loaded on your roster, and that's what makes you that good? So I'm hoping that he is good. Here's the thing: my quarterback 3, it ain't Penix and it ain't Drake May.
12.
Adam's gonna go from hating me from Jameis Winston to loving me because my guy is JJ.
I won't argue.
You can't not. You got to take your chance on the kid that can win something. I'm sorry. Yeah, your guys won the Heisman. Go give me the guy that won the national title.
And who went 20? And he went 27-1 in college. And now I understand. Yes, Michigan ran the ball a lot, so you didn't get to see a lot of his him passing in certain things. But a lot of the guys said, he is the most NFL ready because he was in the most NFL ready system in college already with Harbaugh.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
So and he can make the throws on the run. He can do it, and he makes my biggest stat to stand out to me is, I don't care. You can talk all the trash you want about. I understand we live in Ohio. Everybody hates Michigan. I get it. But look at his third down completion percentage. It was one of the best in the country the last 2 or 3 years.
Exactly. And like you just said, 27-1 and a national title. All that screams to me. I don't care if they ran the football a lot. And I don't care if they had a great defense. All that screams to me about McCarthy is winner.
Yep.
And I'll tell you this. This is coming from a Penn State fan. And I hate Michigan and Ohio State. But this is coming from me. I hate both.
Well, like I said on your show a little while ago, it would not surprise me if the Patriots end up taking JJ at 3.
If they don't get wowed by a trade and somebody jumps.
Right. Well, like I said, I think it's going to be at 4 is where the first round of the fighting goes to. Arizona's going to make out like a bandit at 4 because the Vikings, the Giants, and the Broncos have even said they're looking to move up.
All right. So if that's the case, then
teams. So you could see the fight at 4 and 5.
Okay. So
somebody's losing out.
So are we saying the top 6 are going to be quarterbacks then?
The top 5.
At least the top 5.
At least the top 5, because the Giants, if the Giants lose out on both deals, they're at 6.
Right.
So at 4 and 5, then, yeah, you're looking at quarterbacks.
Okay, but then if the Giants are still sitting at 6, they can still have their. I hate. Dare I say it is the Giants, mind you, could be
Penix.
the one to jump the gun and take a Bo Nix or a Michael Penix way earlier than he should be drafted.
And I think it would be. I
for
think
them
it would
to
be
take Bo
Penix.
Nix.
Well,
Oh my God!
when you think
that's the Eagles fan talking right there.
When you really think about it, though, the Giants they got Danny Dimes. I get it, so they still kind of need a quarterback. They ain't got no running back that I'm aware of. Who they throwing the ball?
Said it. No, they draft Bo Nix and Danny Dimes could be their running back.
Oh Jesus! Why, so we can get tripped up by the turf monster again?
Yeah,
exactly.
I mean, and who do they have at wide receiver?
I'm going to go look at the Giants roster for you.
I know Darren Waller, I think, is still there, isn't he? I mean, granted, if he stays healthy.
He's still contemplating retirement.
Oh, well, see? Well, I mean, being in New York, I don't blame him.
All right, yeah. Giants their current running back 1 is Devin Singletary.
Oh, that's right. They did sign him. But yeah. I hate him because of the fact that I had him in fantasy and he didn't do jack squat for me. So he's dead to me, as Clint would say.
And he did great.
Yeah.
Their wide receiver room.
Yeah, that's right. I was going to say, I forgot Vegas is shopping too. You could have Vegas in the dogfight too. I was going to say Mike and Doug are both in here and are both Vegas guys. Big time Vegas guys. So
see, I think I'll get into mine later, Doug. I'll hold my comments for later about where I think Daniels goes.
But yeah, that would,
wide receiver
that would be the other thing.
I said, they ain't got nobody to throw to.
Yeah, the Raiders, the Raiders. That would be it'd be a 4-way battle going into picks 4 and 5.
If the Giants are smart, you already have the guy you already invested money in.
Wait a minute. Hold on. Think about what you just said.
It's not verbatim here. It's just one of those things that it's just top of the dome. I get it. I understand. You have to go out and get a Malik Neighbors or a Roman Dudsey and have somebody. You need a weapon. You need an offensive weapon.
Yeah, I mean, your best offensive weapon just went to your division rival.
And how you let that go? Oh my God. Oh, I'm sure you're not complaining.
Oh, I'm not complaining at all. Trust me,
I'm not complaining one bit.
I haven't complained. I'm still surprised I'm still alive from the Jameis Winston thing that became true. I'm still scared of you from that.
Well, you got your karma. You got Kenny Pickett now, so you can deal with that.
Fair enough. But I'm not complaining about anything.
Why do you think I've been so quiet? You guys got Pickett. I just let it go. I'm just gonna let it marinate because you have him as your backup. So it kind of just balances out.
Fair enough. But no, I agree. Like the Giants have to, like you said, they've already invested all this money into Daniel Jones. That's the bed you made. You have to sleep in it now.
Mm-hmm.
Because nobody, and I repeat, nobody is going to be stupid enough to trade for Daniel Jones. I don't care how bad you're going. There will be teams running Wildcats before they put Daniel Jones as their quarterback. Yeah. They will run Wildcats the entire game before they put Daniel Jones back there. They made that bet. They have to sleep in it, and at least you have to do. You got to try to go get not just him. Go get Brian Daboll someone decent to coach. Brian Daboll's a good coach. He's got the worst roster in the NFL.
Yeah, I was just going to say that was going to be my next question. Is that not that it's any fault of his own because the front office couldn't hire or re-sign players and stuff. Does he end up getting to be does his seat get really hot this year if they start off and have a bad season? Does he make it through a full season?
Ooh.
I mean, it's like I said, it's no fault of his own because he's the football version of what Tito Francona had here in Cleveland. He had trash for a roster and did the best with what he could.
Oh yeah, and Tito Francona did great in his time there,
right?
But no, I agree. Like Daboll, and it's like all their big spending keeps going on one side of the ball. Like, all right, you got Brian Burns, and him and Thibodeau. If Thibodeau develops more, him and Burns could be a solid pass rushing combination, especially when you have Lawrence in the middle. But even defensively, everything in the back end is kind of questionable to me.
Well, and how long are they going to be on the field too? Because you have nothing on the offensive side.
Exactly.
Eventually, they're going to get tired, and then they're just going to get gassed.
Yeah, that's my fear. I hope they don't scapegoat Dable because Dable's not a bad coach. I mean, look what he did the first year. They literally got to the playoffs off of his coaching.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm just afraid that he's going to get scapegoated. And I just don't want to see it. It's like, I just don't want to see that happen. There's two guys that I'm mad that don't have that has happened to. This year was Mike Vrabel because I think Mike Vrabel's a really good coach too. And I'm pissed off that he doesn't have a job.
Right. But it's like, think about it. Dayball's had a couple of good upsets too. Like when they went in on that Sunday or Monday night game and beat Buffalo with the goal line stand or whatever it was that a year or two ago or whatever it was. I mean, they beat, no offense, and they beat your Eagles once or something with Dayball or
I don't know.
They beat some. I remember it was one of those things. Like I remember looking at the score. Like I don't know if it was the Cowboys. It was somebody in the division. It was either the Eagles or the Cowboys that they upset, and we're like, oh my god, where did that come from?
Yeah, I have.
Yeah, I don't know if I like those.
I'm just like, why? I'm like, okay, why?
Did the Texans come out with theirs today, or is that tomorrow?
Okay.
Well, the only reason
the blue on blue is fine.
No. What you need to do is to see if you can find it. They actually bringing back the throwback John Elway, and it's like a newer version, but it looks exactly like the old. See if I can. I had it on Twitter. I'll see if I can. I'll send it to the chat.
That's where I just found that.
The one on the right, I was getting ready to watch an Auburn game.
Yeah, yeah. That's what I thought. I was like,
I mean, I kind of like,
there it is. I found it.
Okay,
I got it.
I'm all about the throwbacks.
Oh yeah, those are nice.
That's better than that blue and white.
Yeah, I didn't care for any of those.
I don't know about that blue and white, but that's not bad.
Just bring that back and wear that for all your home games. But no, the reason I asked about the Texans one is because I heard now that they can run the 3 helmets, that they're supposedly going to have a random one that was supposedly leaked, but they didn't know how true it was, is that it was going to be a black helmet with an H on the side, but it was going to be in like Oiler blue with red trim.
Saw that.
For the Texans?
Yes. But I thought they were supposed to unveil it today at 9 a.m. Mountain Time, but I haven't seen anything anywhere else, unless maybe that was like tomorrow or Wednesday, maybe. I don't know.
It's a little odd that everybody's going with new jersey designs again.
All right, so I found out the Andy Reid situation. Well, first of all, he is now, this new extension now makes him the highest paid coach in the NFL.
Shocker. Well, when you get as many Super Bowls as he's getting recently.
Let's not talk about how many Super Bowls that my ex-head coach has, okay? I don't need to talk about that right now.
Yeah, sorry.
And the deal runs through 2029.
Holy crap.
Ooh.
So he's going to be there for at least another 5 years.
Plenty of cheeseburgers to go around for him.
Colts GM says he's open to trading up or down in the draft if the draft order if the situation is right. Well, no kidding.
Wait, who said that?
Colts.
The Colts.
Really, trade with us so I get one of my top corners.
I just want. I don't know, man. Like I think that, like me personally, I've been saying it for weeks, and I think the draft starts at pick 4. What goes on there? Whether Arizona stays and takes Harrison or if they trade out.
Yeah, because you know what the first 3 picks are going to be.
Yeah.
And
quarterback, but we don't know in which order. We don't know the second and third which order it's going to be because they could go either way.
And I just do not want New York getting Harrison because that's going to be a waste. That's a waste.
I would laugh considering how Garrett Wilson went to New York on the other side, and then Marvin Harrison would go to the other one.
Oh my god!
I'd actually feel bad for Marvin, even though as much as I am,
I would rather have him go to Arizona.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And actually, if he does, I do not have a Cardinals jersey yet.
There you go.
So that would fulfill my Cardinals jersey.
And that's where it goes back to where, like Sam said earlier, like with me, I got the Aiden jersey when he got drafted by the Lions because I was going to buy an Aiden jersey regardless. And now I'm kind of worried about what JJ jersey I get to buy because I don't want to buy a goddamn Commanders. Pardon my French. Like, granted, I don't think they're going to draft him anyways. And I don't want to buy a Giants because theirs is just one of the ugliest jerseys around. Like, so I'm hoping it's like a Vikings, which that's my stepdad's team.
Or it's a Patriots.
If I'm getting the JJ Patriots, I'm doing the old school throwback red one.
Oh, that would be cool. Yeah, that'd be cool.
What's with the color red tonight, okay? This is getting ridiculous.
Especially, and I never wear, this is the only reason I'm wearing this red shirt is because it was my buddy's. When we went, I was the best man at his wedding. I got these shirts made up for everybody that was going on his wedding cruise, and we wore them all on the same day.
Nice.
Around the cruise ship.
Nice.
So yeah, I wouldn't mind Marvin going to Arizona at all. I just think there's going to be a big dogfight. I would love for Arizona to just say nope and say no, we're just going to stick with our pick and we're going to take Marvin and then let it fall to 5 and let Harbaugh go, "Oh, I'm sorry, what are you going to give me?"
And the bad thing about it is like there's going to be that one random team. If that's the case, all these teams jump up to take quarterbacks. There's going to be that one team that's going to get a hell of a steal and get a Hall of Fame left tackle in Joe Alt from Notre Dame later than what he should have been.
Yes.
Well, and everybody's got him going at Tennessee right there at the Titans pick. Every mock I've seen has the Titans snagging him right there.
As they should. They need to protect Will Levis.
Yeah. Oh, big time.
They don't
already added. No, go ahead.
I was saying, like, you were probably going to say the same thing I was going to say. They already added Calvin Ridley. You still have D-Hop. You still have Burks. So you really don't need another receiver.
And they also added this Cushenberry, the center from the Broncos. So they're already up to, like, freaking going and getting protection for him. So, of course, why not? And I want to piggyback off of what you're saying about Harrison to Arizona. Kyler needs a weapon. Like, Kyler doesn't have much to throw the football to.
No,
I don't think he has anything now because Marquise Brown went to Kansas City. Now, granted, he was the best option they had at the time.
Yeah.
No, I agree. I forgot he went to Kansas City.
Yeah. Well, Rajee Rice might be out for the year because won't he get suspended for that off the field stuff?
We were talking about that. We talked about that a little bit, and we turned around and it was going to be. If they did 6 games, he'd have a 6-game suspension. But every draft, it's McCourty, a receiver. Hang on, before I misspeak. McConkey from Georgia.
Lad
McConkey. Yeah. Oh man,
that's who literally everybody almost has as every mock draft.
That's a bad white boy right there.
That's who they've got. That's who they've got the Chiefs taking.
I hope not.
I don't need McConkey going to the Chiefs.
Chiefs don't need draft picks. If you win the Super Bowl, you forfeit all your draft picks.
Oh, wow.
I'm over it. They won 2 in a row. I don't want to hear about they're the next Patriots. Like I don't want to.
Yeah, I don't want that.
Kaufman says the other dude. I don't.
Wow, Doug, you spelled it right.
Yeah, I don't know. It's Harrison is so far the top dude.
He is, but the thing that bothers me with him is how he's got this diva mentality that he wouldn't work out at the combine, he wouldn't work out at the pro day. Like, I get you want to say that your stuff's on tape, but we would like to see it in person too. Like everybody else that's going through these pro days. Why can't you? Don't be this diva that thinks that, oh, I've already paid my dues. No, you haven't. You haven't made it to the NFL yet.
Yeah.
I think personally, he's hurt.
Could be.
Could have been.
He's hurt.
And he didn't want to risk it and then completely ruin his draft stock. So then that would make sense. That I keep thinking. I said that in my one of my first ones, and I thought that would be hilarious that Jim Harbaugh would draft Harrison.
I know. I was like, talk about the guy who's seen him on tape the most going,
right.
Oh yeah, I'm not stupid. I know I would crack up big time if they hold firm and he would. I wouldn't mind another Chargers jersey.
Yeah,
I like the Chargers jerseys.
Who they got? Quentin Johnson. That's it. That's pretty much their number.
That's the number one guy at the moment. And he's coming off of injury.
What about Palmer? That Josh Palmer or something? Don't they have a Palmer kid?
Palmer.
Yeah, I was just going to look that up for you too.
Yeah, he's also. I think Palmer was also listed.
I think it's awfully funny how they got 2 Ravens running backs now.
You just stole literally the next sentence I was going to say, too. I literally was just going to freaking mention that. Well, first of all, if the one thing that we didn't know about Harbaugh from his first stint in the NFL, he loves to run the football. I don't care. I didn't care. And first of all, I understand the frustration with some people like, oh, they got rid of Keenan Allen and Mike Williams. They were never healthy.
Nope.
No.
Same thing with Austin Eckler. Those 3 guys, when healthy, could have been one of the best skills position groups in the league. Mike Williams, literally, I don't think has played a full season. And there are 3 things, gentlemen, guaranteed in life: death, taxes, and Keenan Allen and Austin Eckler having bad hamstrings.
Yep.
That is the 3 guarantees in life.
Which, why in the world, Eckler could have went anywhere in the world he wanted to go. And I don't care if it's about money or not. Why would you go to Washington?
Got me beat.
Especially that division when you got the Cowboys and the Eagles in it.
Yeah. I mean, and it's like, okay, guess what? You're playing your home games in some cold weather versus the nice warm weather you were in.
Yeah, where did Mike Williams went to the Jets, didn't he?
Yeah.
That's what I thought. A 1-year deal or whatever.
So
1 year.
With Harbaugh having gotta hope Dobbins stays healthy. But I mean,
Gus Edwards.
Yeah, both guys who are injury prone. So that leaves you, of course, at the moment starting is Isaiah Spiller.
Oof.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
There's no Frank Gore over there.
Junior will be in the draft though.
Spiller's not. Oh, that's true. Yeah, Georgie? But Spiller isn't that bad.
Well,
Georgie, I'm where Junior's going.
I'm going to make this prediction. I'm going to play Mel Kiper. I'm going to predict something, but I'm probably going to be wrong. And I'm going to say Blake Corum goes to the Chargers at some point in this draft. Jim will swoop him up.
Now, it's funny because when we bring up the generator here later on, I went through the 49ers, and believe it or not, for what was it, Sam? I know I sent it to you. Was it the 2nd or 3rd pick?
All I know is that.
No. Oh, no. That was for the Browns. That's right. I did it for the Browns.
What, Blake?
Yeah.
I've seen 85.
I've seen that. I've heard his. And the thing is you don't hear Blake with the Browns very much, but that's how Andrew Berry operates because nobody ever saw them taking Nick Chubb when they took him.
Nope. So yeah, I thought I set Corum up going to the Browns.
I'm cool with taking Corum. If you want to take an extra receiver, you want to go get Roman Wilson, I'm cool with that. You can go on the defensive side and get Chris Jenkins. You can take anybody on the defensive side. I'll take right now.
Right, but they've got to get another running back.
I know. No, you got Ford, Dante Foreman, Hines, and then there was somebody else they had. Hines will be the special teams. He'll be kickoff.
Yeah, or he can be cut. He can be dropped. He can be dropped. You have Corum, you're going to turn around and use Corum.
Yeah.
You can bump Ford down to special teams.
And it's awfully funny that if the Browns do draft him, Chargers come to Cleveland this year. He get to reunite with his old coach.
George, all I'm telling you right now is I'm looking at the 49ers one you sent me, sir. You stay away from Roger Rosengarten, okay?
I know you don't like that. I know you don't like that. I was like, dude, look at what because you guys, I think you'll go for your edge on that third one. I don't think you'll snag him. And I was like, if you don't snag him, the 49ers, definitely think will.
Oh, yeah, because the Niners have that pick at 63. We pick at 50 and 53. I can't see him getting past Howie Roseman at 53. I can't.
It will be interesting.
We may have to not talk for a few days. I may be a little mad for a day or two, because honestly, Rosengarten gives me a lot of like my personal opinion, and this is not because I'm an Eagles fan. I see a lot of Lane Johnson in his game,
Yeah.
and we all know that Lane Johnson's easily one of the best
No,
freaking.
Ford's there.
Hunt's gone.
Hunt's gone. Yeah, Kareem Hunt is gone.
Is he hunting for a job still?
Yes.
Yes.
And if there's an injury in the Browns running backs until Chubb comes back, they'll go and sign him again because he'll be sitting there like week 7 without a job.
Yeah, right.
Just kicking back, relaxing. That is the saddest thing, is because he was sitting out, and then it's like, okay, Chubb got hurt, and it was easy to know, dollars to donuts. You're going to go sign the guy who already knows your playbook, and you can just plug and play him in.
And they barely used him because Stefanski doesn't like to run the ball.
And that'll be the Browns' downfall if they ever make the Super Bowl and why they lose, because they won't run.
They'll join the ranks of the 49ers and the Seahawks, and
they'll be the 4th team to screw that up.
Yep.
I know we're so we talked about that, and I mean that is kind of the weird thing, is for everybody who wants to move up, if everybody stands pat, you could see Arizona going receiver, you could see the Chargers going receiver, and then the Giants get their pick of the litter of a quarterback at 6.
Thanks.
And have a plethora of picks.
Okay, Dave's got a point. They will run that ball forever, each 2 yards each time, and that's about except for Chubb. When they run it with Chubb, he gets 4 or 5 every time because he had one of the highest yards per carry average.
So if because we're all thinking, and at the rate that everything looks is that trades, if it doesn't, after 7, since Tennessee definitely looks like it's going to be all,
or they surprise people and take the kid from Penn State.
Yeah, well, the thing is since Atlanta is not thrilled about a quarterback, do they go drafting one?
No, they're going defensive. They're stupid if they don't take Dallas Turner at 8.
I'm gonna say, if they don't take Dallas Turner, Georgie, they just gave $100 million to Kirk Cousins. There ain't no way they're looking at
that. That's kind of the other problem. How much longer is Kirk playing?
1 to 2 more years, because he's already set for life.
Well, yeah, money wise, he definitely.
And that's why I kept saying and I'm going to put it on this platform just like I have on my other shows that I do. I don't want to hear a flipping word about Deshaun Watson's contract when Kirk Cousins has made over X amount of dollars and he has 1 playoff win in 12 years. I don't want to hear it. He's doubled what Deshaun's made with this contract in Cleveland, which I understand it's Cleveland. He's only been here X amount of years, but for 12 years, he's been, raking the coals and getting paid guaranteed money. And he has 1 playoff win, but nobody wants to talk about that.
It's one big time journeyman's contract. That's for sure. And he has definitely been making out. He's made some serious bank.
There's like over $400 million in guaranteed money.
And Dave, I was just going to say, he puts the chemistry together. And
All is not going to the second round.
No, he will not. He'll be gone at 7.
He's the next Joe Thomas.
Yeah. That they came out and said it. Yeah. Yep.
His dad isn't his dad a Hall of Famer or no?
Yeah.
But no, yeah, I'm agreeing with what Adam just said. There's no way Atlanta passes up on Dallas Turner.
I mean, they're going to have their pick at defensive edge. They can go Dallas Turner. They could go Verse from Florida State. But I think you take Dallas Turner. I think he's the most ready.
Yeah, versus like right under Turner, and it's not by much, but Turner's definitely the most pro-ready edge rusher in this draft.
And that's the thing too, is because depending on what Atlanta does at 8, Chicago having that 9th pick, they could easily go now. In their situation, you take your quarterback 1, obviously. Are you taking the receiver to pair with him since you have that 4 years, or do you go to the defensive side and take whoever Atlanta doesn't take? So if you don't take, could you imagine Dallas Turner in Chicago with what they have now on the defensive side? That'd be disgusting.
But could they also possibly look at an offensive tackle?
I've seen 3 different at 9. I've seen 3 different, at least 3 different mocks where they have Verse.
I was gonna say Verse or Turner is
Turner is one of them. Like whatever one Atlanta doesn't take. I've seen the kid from Penn State going to Chicago, Fashinau or whatever you pronounce his name. And then I've even seen one of the receivers. I see a lot of Roman Duze here to Chicago, and a lot of mock drafts too.
Well, I was gonna say,
if Alt's there at 9, I could see that. But it'd be stupid not to protect your franchise quarterback with his franchise left tackle.
Literally franchise left tackle.
There's no way Alt slips to 9 though.
No.
If Alt is there at 9, I need about 4 GMs to have like testing done to their brains.
To let him fall that far.
They'll be drinking. Remember, they'll be drinking.
I think your green screen is drunk off of this.
No, it's because the can is green.
I know, that's why I said it.
It just looks like it's an NFL draft alcoholic drink.
No, it's. I said it would have been smart if they would have gotten him something else, but with DJ Moore, I think they'll be
Keenan Allen.
Yeah,
Keenan Allen too.
I think
Cole Kmet.
I think they'll be fine.
Hold on, Keenan Allen's hamstrings in cold weather, that doesn't age well.
Well, we didn't say he'd have Keenan Allen for a full season. We just said he has him.
He'll have him at the beginning,
and
they can always trade for somebody later on.
And they added DeAndre Swift too.
He goes from one side. What was it? He was in Philly, but he went from Detroit to Philly, from Philly over to Chicago. Yeah, I mean, I don't get the hype behind, like my buddy Dave said, he hopes that Chicago and Caleb get destroyed by every team they play. Screw them. My thing is I don't see the comparisons. They keep calling Caleb the next Patrick Mahomes. I don't see it.
No, I don't either. I do not either. That's
where. No.
Yeah.
I'm not saying I've said it before in amongst friends and chats and stuff that I don't think JJ is going to be the best quarterback in this class, but I bet he's going to be the most surprising. But I think Jaden Daniels has a chance to be the best quarterback in this class.
I do too. I just said it on my show like 2 hours ago. I think Jaden Daniels has the potential to be really good, and if as good as Caleb, maybe better.
Right. Something about LSU quarterbacks. I mean, granted, other than Jamarcus Russell, obviously.
Right.
Dear God.
Oh, that's a whole other.
No. The thing I think I shared it in our George. I think I shared it in our chat. There was and this is what aggravated me, and I think this is how much this kid Caleb is overhyped. Is that they said that if he was in the same draft with Burrow in them, that he would have been picked over Burrow in them.
No, he wouldn't have.
Yeah, that's exactly the same reaction I had, Sam.
Yeah. This is where you go, okay, listen.
Right.
Some people should just not have access to the internet.
Listen,
Linda.
Joe Burrow won a national freaking title. Joe Burrow got to the Super Bowl with an offensive line that probably was consistent of the 3 of us. I don't ever want to hear someone be put in the same light as that. Oh my God.
Well, I forgot what.
Oh.
How did JR name? I don't know who he's talking about.
I have no idea.
And you wonder why he didn't come on air tonight. He told you in the chat.
I don't know who he's talking about. Oh.
Oh yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
Russell, duh.
Oh, I thought we were talking about. I thought we were talking about Jalen Rager. I
He's
don't want to
another.
remember it.
Oof.
Wait, look, I can't complain because ever since that pick, Howie Roseman woke up a demon inside of himself and just started taking SEC players. So I can't get upset.
Fair enough. So,
He's probably gonna take another one in the first round.
So the Jets sit at 10.
I already know where they're going.
Bowers. It's Brock Bowers. Come on, man. It's Brock Bowers.
And Aaron Rodgers loves his tight ends.
Great, he can piss off Garrett Wilson like he pissed off Devontae Adams.
Oh, speaking of which, since can we just do me? I wanted to wait until the show to say this. Can we just give Zach Wilson Russell Wilson's jersey? They're about one and the same player.
Wow.
You didn't even got to change the name. It's already there. Wilson. Just give him number 3.
Wow.
Oh, that's great. That's great.
I didn't even think about that. I'm gonna have to burn. I am
either.
still gonna have to burn that jersey now. That was the first Broncos jersey I have.
And the last.
Now I'm gonna have to burn it because it's oh my god.
Boy.
If they do that, Adam, if they do that, I am burning. I'm bringing the jersey over to your house.
And we'll burn it at the house.
We're gonna have a bonfire. It gets burned.
No,
it's fun.
I said to George before you got on here that basically all the Broncos did was just acquire a 6-inch shorter Brock Osweiler.
Literally. I mean, it's like I like how you guys said it was
$1 contract.
I like how you said it was like the D list of quarterbacks. Like they were just going out and acquiring every D list superstar quarterback.
Hey, maybe they'll be asking us about Kenny Pickett in a few months.
Well, no, see, as quickly as his career lasted, Doug, that's how quickly we forgot about him too.
Yeah.
He's probably at a buffet eating right now. He should have been the spokesperson for hefty garbage bags.
I was going to say, I don't know about I think the Jets should definitely take an offensive tackle personally. They need to work on the damn line. They really do.
Yeah, because we want Aaron Rodgers to last 5 plays this year instead of 3 or 4.
Yeah, they need something else. Like
I still love the greatest thing about last year. One of the best videos I ever saw was here's Aaron Rodgers highlight tape, and it's him running out of the tunnel with the American flag, and that was it.
A couple of guys on CBS have the Oregon State Fuaga.
Yeah, Talise.
Yeah. I mean, that makes much more sense than trying to do a tight end or a receiver. No.
Well, Bowers can block too, though. So,
I'd rather get something on the line.
Oh, I get it, but I mean, everything I've seen, the majority has them taking Bowers. I stopped at 10, so I can't tell you who's 11, 12, and so on. I know we're in that range where it's like the Vikings and the Broncos, the Saints, the Raiders.
Well, yeah, because right now everybody and their brother is just we're figuring it's going to be trade happy galore. When we
might see the most trades in draft history.
Yeah, I don't doubt it.
Well, I'm saying for the first round that matters because if you're trading in the 5th and 6th, nobody cares.
Well, and especially how badly do you want that wide receiver? There's some good, blessed God receivers sitting right up there on the top. And it's like, hey, you want one of those while everybody else is fighting for a quarterback. You're going to sneak right on up and go, oh, yeah.
Right.
In there.
The one that a lot of people need to keep an eye out for, too, and because he's not getting enough recognition, is the other LSU wide receiver, Brian Thomas.
So.
Not many people are talking about this kid, and I'm telling you, he's not Neighbors, but between him and Neighbors, if I'm not mistaken, I could be wrong, but I thought I saw something on ESPN that said that between Neighbors and Thomas, that their numbers are almost better than Harrison's at one point throughout the season, and that they should have,
Yeah, we know, Dave. Yeah, and that's who else we're thinking is Arizona could also go and grab. If Arizona stays pat, grabs a wide receiver, it's him or Harrison, and then if the Chargers stay pat, it'll be whoever that Arizona doesn't take.
Could you imagine that though? You pass up on a talent or maybe like you said, if he's hurt, then it's different. But like you pass up on a talent like Harrison,
and he falls to Harbaugh at 5, and would you look at that? Justin Herbert's going, thank you very much for the Ferrari. I love it. Thank you. Thank you very much. No, it's fine. It's fine, Dave. It is totally fine. Like I said, we talk about anybody and everybody, so it's all good.
I mean, you have an Eagles fan in the middle screen here.
Yeah, where the hell did he come from?
I just wandered in.
Well, George is known for taking in strays, so it makes sense.
Wow. Boy, he makes one little comment.
Hey, you guys missed me. Admit it. You guys missed all this. I got a lot of weeks of catching up, so I got to get it all out tonight.
Sounds like good thing he's not on my show.
Yeah, Philly. He said my buddy Dave said he's like, I love Philly fans, crazy and passionate. But yeah, but they're definitely not Bills fans.
Yeah, we're not jumping through tables over here.
Right.
Now they saved that for WWE. No, it has just been very ironic that right now it's almost as Doug's got to drop his 3 cents.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah, we know. But throw snowballs at Santa. We do too. We've done it.
First of all,
no, we don't throw. We throw something harder. We throw beer bottles
and batteries.
Yes.
We're Cleveland. We're brutal.
Why am I always the Eagles fan that's around when this snowballs is Santa shit? I wasn't even thought of yet. I'm 27. I'm not like, come on, man. Why is it always me when this stuff pops up? I wasn't even thought of yet.
Oh, I didn't even think about it. We should have got what's his name we had on before, the Cowboys fan.
I actually did. I sent a thing to Braden. He has a lot going on. He's got a wedding and stuff he's prepping for too. So he's got a lot of things on his plate right now. But yes, I was trying to get Braden on. Absolutely, Dave. Yeah, I was definitely trying to get Braden on.
I am kind of mad though that we ain't playing you guys in Brazil though.
Yeah,
I thought it was going to be you guys too.
That would have been awesome.
That would have been.
That would have been totally awesome. And I know Zolt has got his whole mock, full on set. He's always got his full on setup going.
I wish he would do us a solid and surprise us and just dress up like Mel Kiper and just do the Todd.
I'd mute him. I'd boot him and mute him. No,
Frank Caliendo does the best one of the best ones I've seen of him.
Yes, he does.
He even puts that little fake nose on so it looks just like him.
Since we know we want to tap up on the Browns pick. That was at 54.
Yeah, that's their first one. If they don't trade
ironically, when I did the mock, and it was kind of funny because that's what a lot of people have on is that Keon Coleman.
Really?
Receiver from Florida State. And it was funny because I picked it and then I'm looking through some of the other mock drafts from some guys and I'm like, oh, damn, it's exactly who they've got. I was like, well, okay.
I don't understand why we would need a receiver though. What, you giving up on Cedric Tillman?
Elijah Moore.
Contract up or something? Or because I know Cooper's is coming up, I think.
Well, he just reworked. You just reworked his.
Oh, did you? And then you signed Judy. I think we got Judy for 3 or 4, right?
Yeah, we got Judy. So you got that. You got it's. You're gonna need somebody a little bit more solid.
But see, this is the problem I have with any other time. I love Andrew Berry. He finds ways to get the diamonds in the rough that nobody, thinks is going to do anything. Like nobody thought Chubb was going to be Chubb at all.
No, but our receiving group. It's like,
well, no, but here's the thing that aggravates me though is you go and draft all these wide receivers and then they're inactive for 10 out of the 17 games. Like why?
Because Stefanski's overloading on linebackers.
Like, give these kids some, a chance to play. Like, you're not going to know what you have to see. You can't see what you have in them in practice. I'm sorry. They need games. They need game reps.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, look at DPJ. That turned out it should have been better, but
he disappeared the last couple of years.
Stefanski blew it.
It's like almost like ever since he had that game-winning catch against Cincinnati, it was downhill from there.
Well, and he hit him.
Yeah,
he didn't want to turn around and keep him, put him out there.
Yeah, but I'm saying, well, you can't see that. You don't do preseason or not. Like I want to see like put him in a regular season.
It's not preseason. The preseason's getting down to almost nothing.
Well,
so
think about it. We had that kid that was the great story, that Giuseppe kid that had that punt return in the preseason game. He disappeared not too long after that game.
Cut him. They just cut him. It's like, hello. I was. And
then, prime example, last year, the kid in the preseason, Watkins. He was a fan favorite.
Yeah,
Disappeared.
Well, you know what happens to fan favorites ever since Cribs, it's fan favorite. Oh, hell no. We can't have that.
Gonzo.
Oh, Dave says couldn't catch the ball.
Which one? We have a lot of that already. David Njoku drops a lot too.
Right?
Can we not talk about my fantasy tight end from like a year ago?
Burridge still has the best line ever. Better hands on a snake.
Mm-hmm. we have the other chat, and he still gets on there about, oh, look at that. They're always trying to tell him to acknowledge the chief, and then Burridge is always like, never.
Yeah, well,
I thought he caught everything.
Amari Cooper missed half of it. Elijah Moore missed a lot.
No, that's all Watson's fault, is what all the haters will say.
Oh.
It hit him in the hands, but it's Watson's fault.
Yeah, I mean, Flacco turned around and hit him in the hands too.
I've never seen a fan base clamor so much for a backup quarterback like Browns fans.
Hold the phone.
What, Nick Foles?
No. Here's the problem. Since that guy that's on my wall, since then, my fan base clamors over backup freaking quarterbacks. That's why, literally, the week that we acquired Kenny Pickett, my screen name I put on there was backup quarterback hater, because I hate the freaking term now. Because I'm like, if your starter goes down, it doesn't freaking matter half the time. If your starter's gone, you're basically screwed.
Yeah, but see, Dave, Browns fans don't want to hear that, because they'll say that Deshaun he wasn't 5-1, he was 4-1, because you can't count the Colts game. Believe me, because he went out injured in that game.
Start the game.
It's Browns fans. Justin George says it the best. Browns fans are idiots.
Why do you think I always keep saying I am a Browns fan by birthright? I am a 49ers fan by choice. I have a choice.
Believe me, Dave, I am the biggest Watson backer, like I was with Baker when Baker was here. And if you don't believe me, people always say I'm a Baker hater.
No.
I think that says otherwise.
Yeah.
But it's like I'm sick and tired of arguing with people about this whole. Well, Watson has. Yes, I understand it's incomplete, but you can't fault the guy for getting hurt. It's a part of the game.
Yeah. I was going to say, and technically, Baker, it's all my fault.
Because it is, because anytime you start rooting,
they turn around. There was a bet, and I happened to turn around and lose said bet, and I had to go buy a Baker Mayfield jersey. And I did get one of the really nice throwback ones.
And then the Browns started losing.
And then the Browns turned around and just went right into the crapper after that.
Thanks, George.
Which is why now the other Browns jersey that I do have is a Bernie Kosar jersey.
Well, and that's the thing. Like, I'm so sick and tired of buying Browns jerseys because I had the Edwards back in the day. I had the Jabril Peppers. I've had Courtney Brown. Like, go back as far as Courtney Brown. I had his jersey.
I had his too.
I got one that was funny just for the hell of it, and it was the Chris Gardocki, the punter jersey when he was number 13.
Oh, you're welcome, Dave.
But like my thing is just like, so I said the hell with it. And the last jersey I went out,
Whedon and Richardson. I had the Richardson jersey.
The guy who couldn't see up.
Richardson. I had that jersey for 2 weeks before he got traded. I was like, well, that's it. No more Browns jersey.
I said, screw it. I bought a Myles Garrett. He ain't going nowhere.
You can't go wrong with Myles Garrett. Come on now.
Yeah, it is your fault too.
That's why we don't let you do that. And that's why there is a Chubb jersey in the house, but guess what? It's Bryce's jersey.
And any draft that we have this year, if Doug tries to draft Chubb, we're having technical difficulties. We didn't get that pick. For any Browns player that Doug tries to draft. Love you, Doug.
I think Doug's learned his lesson like Suds has.
You
do not take a Browns player.
Well, they do it to spite us.
Well, no.
Suds does.
Well, Suds has a bad history behind the Cleveland Browns draft of players in fantasy. Sam, it was probably about 2005, 2006. And it was just before the week before the season was starting. And myself and Suds and a couple other people were actually at my apartment doing the draft. And the Monday night game was the Packers and the Browns. And Suds, being the smart arse that he wanted to be, in the 4th round, goes and takes Tim Couch. And 2 plays later, goes out injured for the season. And Suds threw papers, pen, chair, and just threw the biggest temper tantrum in draft history.
I wish I'd have been there for that one.
It was hysterical. My buddy Kevin and Scott were both there for it. It was just drop on the floor. Hilarious. And he said it all smugly too, going, you know what I'm going to do? And we're just like, what? And he's like, I'm taking Tim Couch. 2 plays later, boom. So yes, Suds won't take a Browns quarterback unless he's kind of later on in the draft because he doesn't want to get skunked again. It was a first time and I think a last time. But
Good.
that's why Suds will not usually touch a Browns player.
I'm so mad that like I was that close with my bet last year. So close. And everybody thought I was crazy for making that prediction. And I predicted that the Steelers would finish dead last in the division, and everybody laughed at me.
Close.
Who was it? It was the Bengals, and it was the Chiefs that ended up causing it because they beat the Bengals, and the Steelers won. I needed somebody to beat the Steelers. I needed them both to lose, I thought, or something. But however it worked out, it didn't work out in my favor, unfortunately. It was like a half a game was the only reason it's the Suds loophole he found like he always does.
Right.
Jeez.
Yeah. It was ridiculous. And I was going to say, he's not wearing red.
I told you he's going to wear the hockey jersey. I know Zolt.
Oh, I thought it might have been a Red Wings one.
No, not today.
And I said if they'd have made the playoffs, you would have wore the Red Wings.
I mean, that's a whole different story.
Yeah.
Well, I mean,
So
he was the one
close.
on my show telling my team to draft a kicker 20 minutes into my show.
Well, no, don't do that because 49ers drafted Moody and ruined him.
I corrected myself. I corrected myself and said, no, that's the Jets.
I know.
Sorry, wrong green.
Right.
Did I miss the memo on the red shirt?
No, that's
No, it was we
was
were cracking up that all of a sudden we all popped in and we're all wearing red.
Hell?
This is like there's only
odd.
there's only two reasons I wear a red shirt, and if that's a Guardians shirt or this one that I have on is my buddy's Patterson Mania from his wedding, because I refuse to wear red any other time because of obviously the school in Columbus.
Yeah, understand.
And the only time I wear red is when I'm wearing one of my Philly shirts, which, ironically,
Like I said, it was just pure coincidence.
So we talking about NASCAR today? What are we doing?
No. Oh God. Did you
Shots fired.
I wouldn't be here.
Bruiser at 76 points? I think there's a reason why Bruiser said he wasn't coming on tonight.
I saw
That was brutal.
I saw what my score was, and I'm like, oh, all right. So another one of those weeks. I shouldn't even click the league tab. I clicked the league tab on. How the hell am I in
How
first?
did that happen? Yeah, I know. I was only 2 points behind Adam, and I'm going, well, okay.
I'm not in there no more. I deleted my team.
Well, then who the hell was I behind?
Chipper.
Is it Chipper? All right.
Yeah, me and Chipper. It was pretty much about tied. But yeah, when I saw Bruiser with 76 points, I went, ooh.
So that means everybody he had wrecked out in that last wreck at the end, probably.
Well, probably a lot.
I mean, it was bad the entire way. Because I mean, granted, I had 3-year-old's birthday party to attend to, but I checked at 1 point, and again, I was in first, and I'm like, what in the hell is going on here? Because my guys aren't doing all that great.
That's the joys of That's the joys of Talladega and Daytona, baby.
Right on.
So what's this draft stuff we're going to talk about, Zolt?
I don't know. NHL draft. NHL draft. Now the season's over.
Well, all right, I'm out of here.
That would take out half the panel.
Let's talk about the 17-year-olds that we're not going to see for 5 years.
Well, no.
All right, wait. Hold on, Zolt. I'm still waiting for Matvey Mishkov to come over. That's a really bad joke at this time for me as a Flyers fan.
Sorry.
And I'm still pissed off about the Cutter Gauthier situation, too. I don't want to talk about it.
Okay. All right. That's fine. Hey, you know what? Considering how the season ended, I mean, I'm perfectly okay if we just skip the NHL talk for, the next 4 or 5 months.
Well, I'm about to. What is it? The first round 7 games or is it 5?
It's all 7.
It's all 7? Okay,
Yeah.
so I got about 3 more games, and I'll probably be sitting on the couch with you watching the rest of it because Tampa just ain't got what I don't know what's gotten in them the last couple of years other than trading everybody away.
Scott Sanders has it.
Wow, so we got to hold. Well, I'll be watching the NFL. I'll have to have the split screen up that way. WWE draft on one channel, and then whatever round 3 through 5 or whatever they do on Friday night.
My roommate made an agreement with me. He's going to watch the WWE draft in the living room, and I'm going to watch the NFL draft in here. I'm like,
there you go.
That's how we're doing that.
So obviously, y'all been talking about draft. I mean, where are we? What are we?
We got through this. We did the top 10 in our minds, but we would love to hear from you.
We take
what's the stats and the odds on things? Because we know you're all about that.
We kept that pretty much so loose that we know you were going to bring the heat and the numbers and going, all right, this is pretty much about what you're looking at 3, 4, 5, and 6.
Excuse me while I go to my app now.
We were trying to delay it because we knew that you were going to bring the heat.
Okay. Let's start at the top. And George, you and I had this conversation over the phone. So last week, comment was made about Caleb Williams potentially not going number 1. I threw out there, hey, I'm willing to put money on that. And as George knows, if I actually throw that out there, That's a red flag. that's the reddest of red flags. No, it's as simple as this. Chicago's got number one. They have no quarterback. Caleb Williams had one interview out of the top 30 visits that every team is allowed to have. He had one interview, and that was with Chicago. And Chicago only interviewed one quarterback. You literally have an opportunity to bring in whoever you want at the number one pick, run them through your system for the day, and just pick their brain and figure out if you like it or not. Obviously, they liked it enough because they interviewed nobody else. That is a done deal. And I told George, it's like, this isn't about, hey, maybe somebody comes along and throws a money bag at them. No, you better be throwing an entire armored car at them if you're going to try to pry that away from them. It ain't going to happen.
Since you like to bet, are we going to have, what's the prop bet for the blue and orange fingernails on him Thursday night?
It's, it's actually probably pretty good odds.
Oh my God.
Oh, man.
It really is. It's probably pretty good odds.
Yeah, Dave and I had mentioned it. We chatted a little bit, and I'm very surprised that they had not actually started the Alex Smith treatment on this, because if both parties are literally on that agreement, I don't see why they wouldn't have just pulled an Alex Smith treatment on it.
So how much stake is he getting?
Smith actually signed his contract with the 49ers the day before the draft.
So what's his stake he's going to get in Bears ownership, since that's what was one of his deals when he was coming out? Remember, he had to have part.
Daddy doesn't get anything.
Okay.
No, Daddy don't get squat.
Remember, if you'll recall, that came out. That little snippet came out from his daddy that, they were looking at that. The league implemented a rule. Players cannot have ownership stakes in teams.
That's correct.
Well, they're already betting on it as players. So, I mean, if you're going to be part owner.
Well, we don't want to bring up about players and bets, and that's a sore subject.
Shohei.
No, that's a super sore subject with Sam right now. There's somebody that hasn't been cleared yet. So,
Sam, that's because the NFL reinstated every player that was caught for gambling last year, except for the one that was on my team.
Like I said, we don't want to bring that up. Thanks,
Sorry.
Adam.
Oh, sorry, Sam.
Boy, you're just sticking it to Sam over one comment, dude.
All right. Hold on. To be fair, that Jameis Winston comment I made was like during the first day of free agency. He has owed me ever since.
That is true.
So this is why we're all wearing red, because this is technically a bloodbath right
now. Well played.
Very well played.
And I just realized like a few minutes ago that Zolt said red flag. How many more times are someone going to say the word red on this show?
Give me like 2 minutes. I can download, the cover of Taylor Swift's Red, and we'll be good.
And there's always got to be a Taylor Swift reference now every show.
All of a sudden, we've gone weeks without a Swift reference. Nope. There we go.
Okay, I'm dying to pick Zolt's brain because I think at 2, the Commanders are taking Daniels.
I would agree. There seems to be a lot of smoke about May, but I think that's what it is. I think it's just, let's see if we can get somebody to bite. That's kind of where the money's leaning right now is Daniels. Daniels is at -400. May's at +330.
He just seems like he's almost like the whole RG3 thing all over again in Washington with Daniels in a sense, but maybe he'll be a little bit better.
Yeah, I mean, again, a whole new regime there. They want to get this right. They can't get Caleb Williams, and they knew that from the start. So it was just
they should have got the coach right. I don't think they got that right.
Again, it's Washington, so do you really expect anything else? I mean, it's got nothing to do with ownership. It's got to do with
I was going to say it's new
curse
ownership.
Of the city.
It's the new ownership had to buy, basically buy new football management.
Just bring back the Redskins already too.
Yes, enough with the Commanders.
Yeah,
Red Tails.
I'll take that even.
No, they're going to start to be called the Washington Guardians. So no. I mean, God, who would do that?
Cleveland.
You know what?
Wow.
Can't we just bring back the Washington football team? That was legendary. Come on.
I was okay with that.
I mean, I hate to say it. I mean, you can talk all you want about the Guardians, but aren't they like one of the top teams in baseball? Granted, 20 games into the season.
Oh,
They're the first team to 15 wins.
Zolt, that comment is directed strictly for you.
Straight from Florida. From one Dave to another.
Nah.
Red Hogs? I mean, that would work.
Wow, Doug. Oh, wow.
Well, I mean, they used to all dress like pigs in the stands anyways, remember?
Yeah.
The little snouts or whatever they used to have.
Well, they were the hogs and we had the dogs. I mean,
I'm sorry, I just missed the helmet. That's all. It's an iconic helmet.
Yeah.
And it's better than that ugly W.
Even Mike agrees. He goes, "Yep, the Redskins." It's like, yeah, it's.
And you're welcome. I have successfully derailed the draft extravaganza.
No kidding. People are
all right. All right, fine. We'll go back on track. Number 3.
Okay. Oh, well, I was going to Washington real quick here. They brought in 3 quarterbacks for visits. 2 of them are obvious. They brought in Daniels. They brought in May, and then they also brought in Michael Penix Jr.
I thought they brought in JJ too.
They did, not according to the list I have.
No, they went to dinner with him though.
Okay,
they did go to dinner with him. Yeah,
gotcha.
Because I know there was talks that he was going to meet with that JJ was meeting with them. Because believe it or not, Sam thinks that JJ is going to be one of the better quarterbacks in the draft.
And I said having him at 3 at the Patriots wouldn't be a bad thing.
It wouldn't.
Well, I think he'll do okay. I mean, I understand people's concern, especially the fact that he was a national championship quarterback on a running team, and there's no doubt about that. I will say this though.
Don't tell me that. My daughter. Oh God, I'm in so much trouble if JJ comes to Cleveland. My daughter is obsessed with that kid.
I'll say this: the last 3 games of the season, so I'm including the playoffs. I'm trying to remember the stat, and I'm not going to be able to find it when I look.
Rod, that's
cool. No, he just frees up.
Zolt froze. Wow.
Yep.
Oh, you there?
Yeah,
yeah.
It's well, you know what it is?
You got it now. You are the Japanese.
No, it's just because it's all the power coming from the Detroit sign behind him is cutting into his internet.
It's interference.
No, that's what he gets for not wearing red. That's what he gets.
Out of I believe it was 37 plays that were either 3rd and short or 4th and short. Out of those 37 plays, guess how many they ran?
34, I think, wasn't it?
They ran. No, they passed on 34 of them. Okay,
I had the number right.
When it came down to, hey, we need this play for a first down, they let JJ throw.
And what did I tell you earlier, Sam? His 3rd down completion percentage is one of the best in college.
Yeah, and again, real quick, what was his record? 27 and 1. You said
1. The only loss was to TCU.
You know what? Somebody can go take the UNC boy who I don't want to talk about. I'll take the winner. I'll take the guy who wins something.
No, you're right.
I mean, it's hard to argue that. I mean, if you want a guy who knows how to win, he knows how to win. So
I think he's even got, if I'm not mistaken, he was a 2-time national champion in high school too.
Now it's getting deeper into the winning.
I mean, that's all he's done.
Exactly.
I'm just curious because I know he coming out of high school, he was recruited by Ohio State, but then they didn't offer him. That's why he went to Michigan, was to kind of spite them. Is how he could have been if he had went to Ohio State, granted, depending on who, obviously, the things they had in front of him, if he'd ever got the opportunity and how he could have succeeded there. Because then I'd be on the other side of it and I would hate his guts probably.
I was going to say the same thing. Here's the thing. I don't really hate Michigan. I'm a Penn State fan, so of course, but I despise Ohio State. And I would have literally, first of all, if he went
3 out of 4.
Hey, if he would have went to Ohio State, he would have been playing with Harrison.
That was funny. I think, it was when they asked him on the NFL Network, some receivers in the NFL you wanted to throw to, he said the obvious, Devontae Adams, somebody else. And I think he even said Garrett Wilson from the Jets, like which they thought was funny and I love it because they're like, "You sure you can say that being a Michigan guy?" He goes, "Oh, when you're 3-0 against them, you can say whatever you want."
And to be fair, he went to where he would actually have an O-line.
That's true.
I will say this. Adam, you were right. McCarthy did take a top 30 with Washington. I was on a website that was not updated. So I've now switched. And yeah, McCarthy was the 4th quarterback that they interviewed. They did not do an interview with Nix, however.
Why does it?
Yes. Sorry, they did. They did at the combine.
But my thing is what is the knock on this Knicks kid that like he's not like he seems to be the one that nobody's talking about?
Okay, how about this? Sums it up. He's an Oregon quarterback. That's the knock on him.
Mariota. Herbert's not horrible. Like Herbert's only horrible because of the coach he had in front of him.
Oh yeah, Herbert's an actual stud. Like they just need to get a freaking something better around him, which they did.
Receivers.
They need an O-line. They need healthy wide receivers. That's what they need.
I think Trevor Lawrence was the other one. He's right. That all Trevor Lawrence. I think Trevor was undefeated through college or something or another. It was undefeated all the way up into college or something. Or was it?
That's what I was getting at right there.
Harrington, because of you guys.
Yep.
In Detroit. I totally forgot about that dude.
But yeah, okay. So Washington, I think they're going Daniels. I really do. I kind of want them to take May just because I think it's against the grain, which would make things a bit more interesting.
Didn't they already have him on the roster? And his name was what was the quarterback they had? Sam Howell.
Sam Howell.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Wait. All right. First of all, can we not say that name? He had like a 90% completion percentage against the Eagles last year. Okay.
Wait, where did he go to college?
Did he go to North Carolina? I thought he did.
I'm pretty sure
that's your department.
UNC.
I'm pretty sure it's UNC.
It's UNC.
Hold on. I'm up.
Yeah.
George already looked it up. He did.
Yep. Got it.
Yeah. So basically, your top 2 teams have already had the UNC quarterback, and they don't want to make that second mistake twice.
Fun times.
That just seals it for Daniels for me at 2.
So Williams, Daniels, and Patriots are going to sit there and go, "Yeah, we don't want any part of UNC," and they'll take JJ. Be your top 3 dudes.
So moving on, moving to 3, New England. Going back to the visits that they've taken, New England hit every quarterback except Caleb, obviously. But not only did they hit the others, Daniels, May, McCarthy, Nix, and Penix, they also brought in for a pro day interview Joe Milton.
Mm-hmm. Browns did too. Nobody knows really a bunch about that. The Browns brought him in too.
Yep, the Browns did as well. I just find this interesting. I'm wondering if they have a backup plan in case they do decide to trade out.
The thing with Milton is he's got a hell of an arm and he can throw the ball 80-some yards in the air. He has no accuracy. So it's kind of like it's like another Malik Willis coming out.
Well, what was the knock on Brady and Purdy? Similar movie.
Yeah.
Similar movie.
I know it was weird because the Browns actually had a lot of quarterbacks come in. They even had the kid from Tulane come in. I can't think of what his name is offhand, but I know
I'd have to look it up. But it was funny. Those are the only 2 quarterbacks you brought in also.
Yeah.
Well, after the DTR experiment failed.
Yeah, like they were so high on that kid, and then like that fizzled out just as quickly as it started.
Well, technically, I guess you guys actually did an interview with Bo Nix at the Combine. I don't see any way you end up with him.
No.
Michael Pratt. Pratt.
Yeah, that's Pratt. Yeah, the problem with Nix is you'd have to take him at 54 if he would still be there.
I don't think he's going to make it down to 54.
No, the thing that scares
or at least figure out a way to move up earlier in the second round.
right. Which there's talks that I've been hearing a lot of rumblings around Cleveland that there is talks that they wouldn't mind moving up, but I think they're going to move up to get one of those receivers like Worthy or the kid from South Carolina.
So are we all just going to assume the fact that Arizona's trading that pick?
Do we think? Well, let's go back. Do we think the Patriots are trading out, or are they going to stand pat?
I was going to say, I think the Patriots are,
because there's all these rumors that they're getting a lot of calls for that third pick. I mean, are you going to have to? Are you going to have to give them?
They're looking for a quarterback, though.
I understand it, but I mean, what if you get the Ditka type, thing thrown at you? How do you turn that down?
Well, you can't. They already you can't do that anymore.
Oh,
you can't do that. The NFL ixnayed that after that happened. You're not allowed to pull that stunt.
I think the Patriots are okay either way. If they get a decent enough offer, they're okay with moving. And if they don't, I think they're okay drafting.
Depending on that's the thing, because if, like you said, depending on how far they fall, I don't know why, but I got a feeling, and I think he'd be a good fit there, and I think Penix fits New England style perfect.
I can say it.
But as you always say, it's what's the best available at the time.
Right.
I mean, we always keep saying the quarterback has to be in the right system. That's how everybody's, oh, well, what if Tom Brady went to Cleveland? I'm like, it would have sucked because it's not the right system.
Well, the Patriots got Brissett back, right?
What's that?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Because, I mean, I can see them being the type that they start him and then draft something later on, like get maybe Bo Nix later, and they surprise everybody and they take Harrison at 3.
Yeah, Rob. We're knowing Minnesota made those trades with the Texans
for that reason. That's all that is trade bait.
Yep, because they're definitely going to turn around and move up. They're coming up there. They are 100% jump. Minnesota's jumping up into the top 5. They will be grabbing something at 3, 4, and 5.
Let me throw this out here, though. As far as giving up their, I think it's 11 and 23.
Yeah, 23, because that's the same pick the Browns had that went to Houston, and then from Houston to Minnesota.
That is probably not enough
to jump to 3.
It's going to be more because Doug was talking about Raiders moving up to, I think, 4, which would be at least similar, and I believe it would require 2 firsts. It was a total of 4 or 5 picks or players.
Well, and that's why I had mentioned it a little earlier. I said, if Minnesota has to jump up, not just with those 2 picks, but if Justin Jefferson is involved in that trade, I would not doubt it, especially if they do try to get up into 3 or 4. I'm willing to pretty much say that Justin Jefferson will be a part of that if Minnesota decides to go up that high. You know that Justin Jefferson will be a part of it. And Minnesota is basically going at a total rebuild.
We still got Jordan Addison, though.
Yes, they do. And JJ, like you said, JJ is on the end of the contract. So you're going to end up either having to have an unhappy franchise tag guy, or you're going to end up trading him anyway.
Well, like I said earlier, and Joel, you didn't get to hear, I said it's just going to be ironic when the Vikings trade up to 5 with the Chargers and they take JJ at 5 thanks to Harbaugh.
I could see it.
Because the Chargers could still fall back and get whatever they could probably get a tackle. There's 3 tackles to choose from. If they're going to take a tackle, they can get any one of the 3. Well, probably not all, but they can probably get the kid from Penn State or Oregon State if they drop down to whatever Minnesota or whatever Minnesota's first pick would have been.
Well, I'm saying Minnesota goes for trading with Arizona, and JJ's part of that ordeal. All of a sudden, Kyler Murray's thrown to Justin Jefferson. That's interesting.
Oof.
I brought this up on making sure I'm saying this right. That's Birds of the Gridiron. Am I saying that correctly? At 5:30 on Facebook Mondays. Yes, Hosted by Sam. I brought it up on Sam's show. See,
Cheap
first,
plug.
I would never promote our show like that.
You don't.
That Chargers' best scenario is moving down
Yeah.
because they have multiple holes on the O line and they need wide receivers. You can certainly help yourselves in both of those cases by moving down. O line and wide receiver happen to be two of the things that this draft is
It's
phenomenal with. It is
full on,
loaded with O line and wide receiver.
Yeah, because if they trade with your best bet trade with Minnesota, you get the 11th and the 23rd. You take your receiver at 11, and then at 23rd you go and get one of the offensive linemen.
Absolutely. I mean, and to be honest, the O line is so jam packed. You could do 2 wide receivers if you want, since you need multiple.
Yeah, true.
Or pick a wide receiver in the second or the third. Also, it's just
No, JJ's contract is up, so JJ's going to be a free agent, or he's going to be a very unhappy franchise tag receiver.
yeah,
He's not going to stick. He's not.
wide receiver.
It's going to be one or the other.
And he's not going to.
Minnesota ends up trading him before the trade deadline.
And he's not sticking around for a rebuild in Minnesota.
No, he's not. Nope, not at all. Minnesota's slowly been cutting everything that is going to cost them extra money.
Yeah,
you can totally smell the rebuild.
Yeah, I mean, you look at the Eagles. What they just gave Devontae Smith is $25 million a year. JJ's easily gonna get over that. I would assume the start price of those negotiations, the start would be 28, at least that. That's probably where it starts.
Yeah,
it'll probably go higher, but I think that's where they would start. Would be about $28 million a year for Justin Jefferson
at minimum.
At minimum, yeah.
Sanders says, "I'm good with that. Yeah, I'm good with JJ leaving the North."
Should have been a freaking Eagle too.
Later, Doug.
See you later, Doug.
You're muted.
He muted himself.
I know.
We're talking about Patriots, Cards, Chargers trading down, whatever. Of course, that requires a trade partner, and Minnesota can only do this once.
Right.
I think we take Denver off the list of teams that are looking to trade up.
Oh, because they got Zach Wilson now?
Yeah, they got their quarterback.
I think this is a backup plan. This is we don't want to spend the capital it's going to take to move up. We will wait and see if one of the secondary guys happens to fall. And if not, we have 3 guys.
The D list.
Yeah, we called it the D list.
Yeah, but, I mean, that's fine, but I mean, they're putting themselves in a position.
Brand new uniforms you got to sell,
Well, and I will repeat it again because it was a great joke. Just go ahead and give Zach Russ's jersey. It's just, you got to change the last name. You're getting about the same caliber of player anyhow. It's an even up.
I told him if that happens, I'm bringing the Broncos jersey I've got over to his house and we're putting it in the bonfire in his backyard.
I think they've kind of set themselves up to where they don't feel they have to make that move, so they're not going to spend what they need to move up.
Right.
And they're just going to wait and see how it plays out, which at some point some team's going to have to do that, because otherwise you're just throwing everything to take the 4th quarterback in the draft,
And well, that, or they're also going to be looking at a wide receiver.
True.
Because they need another one of those too. Remember, Judy just came over to Cleveland, so they're going to need another receiver.
And they've got what? Cortland Sutton, who's unhappy.
And Mims.
Yeah. But where is Patrick? What about Patrick?
Tim Patrick? Does he still have 2 ankles, or I thought one of them got lost or something?
One may have fell off last year.
Yeah, I was going to say. So you've got Sutton and Mims. Like I said, they need another wide receiver.
They need a tight end too.
Yeah, and they interviewed Bowers at the combine. I'm trying to think.
Adam thinks that the Jets will probably grab him first.
It's certainly possible. In the ever expanding campaign of making Aaron Rodgers happy.
Mm-hmm.
Sure. I mean, why not? You've thrown everything else away for it. Why not?
Only for Aaron Rodgers to get hurt in 5 plays this year, and then we still have nobody to throw to Brock Bowers.
Suds will be looking for a brick wall that he can run through if that happens, because he'll go and draft. Suds, he'll be at the draft and he'll go, okay, let's try this again.
Right.
Aaron Rodgers. And Zolt and I will be sitting back laughing, going, look how well that worked out for you last year, buddy boy.
Let's see. I mean, Denver brought in everyone you would expect them to bring in as far as quarterbacks. They also brought in, let's see, where was it?
This is interesting. Rod says if the Chargers stay put, Harbaugh won't let him get past.
Who won't get past?
San Diego needs receivers.
Los Angeles.
I
That's $1 for the jar.
Yeah, I do that all the time,
George.
So Denver brought in Michael Hires from Samford for a top 30.
Who?
Yes. Michael Hires, Hiers, Samford.
For
a top 30 visit, not just a combine visit, not a pro day visit. This was a straight up all day. We're going to work out.
Here's one for you too. The Browns did the same thing, but it was with a kid from Yale who's like a 5'9" wide receiver. I'm like, didn't we already go through this once with Anthony Schwartz? Like, why are you looking at a receiver that's under 6 foot? Don't even bother.
Is that Kieran Amagaji?
Okay.
Amagaji?
Nah, he's that's the offensive lineman who I love.
Sam with the win.
I love that freaking kid. We were doing our mock draft earlier on our show, and we were sitting there at 53, and he was there, and so was Rosengarten. And I'm like, dude, in real life, if the Eagles have that option, I don't know who to take there, because they are both great players with a lot of upside.
Adam, I'm wondering if you were talking about Malachi Corley, who's the wide receiver out of Western Kentucky.
No, they said it was out of Yale.
Huh. The Yale kid I'm seeing is
or is it BYU maybe?
Maybe, I don't know. Anyway, it doesn't matter. It's clear.
Yeah, but
let's talk about teams that have a few.
I skipped past his school and his name for the simple fact that I saw 5'9", $180, and I'm like, why are we even interviewing this kid?
Why not? I mean, why not?
The kid comes across the middle. Patrick Queen, TJ Watt are going to rip his head clean off.
They're going to go over him.
Well, yeah, probably. Probably.
I think, okay, to answer your question from 10 minutes ago, George, I think Patriots stand pat. I really do. Arizona is a whole other question. Arizona, I think, is the first team I could actually see move their pick. And then that'll determine what the Chargers do. Is there anything to this whole the Giants want to move up 2 spots? Yeah.
The Giants, of course there is.
Yes, because between
the
freaking
Giants, of course there is.
It's the Giants, yeah.
They're moving up 2 spots, taking Bo Nix and calling it a day.
Oh, that would just make my day so much.
Mine too.
And the thing is, as much as I just rip on the Jets for every single thing they do, I mean this would just put the Giants right there, because okay, now you deserve everything you're going to get.
They need a lot.
They do, which is why you don't move up.
Yeah, because now you're losing more picks.
Yeah, it's like Sam, I said in your show earlier. It's like, yeah, they're roughly 20 starters away from having a good team. I mean,
yeah.
This is not a single draft fix.
No.
And Adam said it perfectly earlier. If they're going to try to move up for a quarterback, you've already made your bet with Daniel Jones. You committed to him. If anything, what you should be focusing on for the next couple of years while you're paying him this ridiculous amount of money, go build the whole rest of the team around it. And if Daniel Jones can't play, which I'm pretty sure he can't, then you go look for the quarterback.
Here's what you do. We all know the Giants are going to be picking in the top 5 in the next couple of years anyways. Just wait till Arch Manning comes out. You can just add another Manning to the Giants stable.
Oh, my God. You're lucky Bruiser's not here. You're so lucky Bruiser's not here.
That happens, and I called it how many years in advance? I will buy Bruiser the Arch Manning jersey of the Giants.
I'm coming to Ohio and finding you if this I have to deal with another freaking Manning in my division, okay? I can't take that.
Wow.
You got at least probably what, 2 to 3 years probably for that?
He doesn't want to think about it.
I mean, you can take Quinn. You can take Quinn Ewers. He'll come out first.
That's funny.
Scott, you're not going to ruin this for me. You're not. We're in a good place. I'm happy with where we're at. I trust Brad Holmes. You're not going to ruin this for me.
And you got Laporta.
They got Laporta. They don't need Powers.
Detroit drafting tight ends is a source of it.
Yeah. Them drafting tight ends is like the Browns drafting quarterbacks.
Yep.
Don't do it. Similar at all.
Don't do it. We're always like, don't do it.
Don't do it. Do not do it.
No.
Imagine having both. No.
Detroit can't have nice things. Come on now.
I wanted to throw this up the entire time you were talking earlier, Sam, on your show. It was you're going through everything Philly needs, and everything you are tagging off is everything Detroit needs. So it's just we don't need the 2 number 1 or first round draft pick tight ends. We need another wide receiver. We don't need 2 tight ends like that. And then we're getting ahead of ourselves. Oh, yep. Okay, go ahead. We're getting ahead of ourselves.
I don't think Cooper
DeJean will not be there. He
ain't getting past the Packers.
Wherever he's going,
the Eagles.
It's not getting past 20. It's not getting down to 29.
No way.
I see that kid's name a lot with the Packers.
Every Eagles mock I've seen that has Cooper DeJean in it is they've had to trade up to get him because they really had to jump a few teams.
Packers being one of them, right?
What did the Packers pick?
23rd, I think, or 24th, right? Or no, 24th, maybe.
We picked 22nd, so we're ahead of the.
Or maybe
Packers
it was now. Maybe then.
Packers are 25, yeah. Eagles are 22.
Yeah, that's what happens when you actually win playoff games. You get, unlike my team this year, we get blown out by the Bucks, 37-9.
A Baker Mayfield. What is it with him beating Pennsylvania teams in the playoffs?
Yeah.
Okay, can we not do this right now? I'm watching the Sixers get just embarrassed by the Knicks. I don't need more.
They were up. Last I saw, they were up.
They're down 7.
Cavs are up 2-0, so I'm not worried about it. I'm just worried about the next series because they'll probably get blown out by Boston.
I'm sorry. Are we talking about the NBA during the draft extravaganza?
Never. We would never do such a thing.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Hold on. Wait. You're not the only one that's allowed to derail this show, okay? Let us have our fun doing the same.
At least y'all wear the same color.
Yeah.
There's a difference between derailing and changing the subject.
That's true.
No wonder my show's always a shit show.
I'm trying to see. So, what pick were we discussing now?
We're just moving on to Tennessee, I guess.
That's where Alt comes in.
I said it's going to be either Alt or a wide receiver. I don't know why they would take one. They have enough, but every mock I see has them taking a wide receiver.
Well, I was saying it's the opposite for me. I've seen Alt everywhere.
If Alt gets to 7, I think Tennessee's stupid for passing on him because
they need him.
Yeah, I understand it's not sexy, but whatever. You're Tennessee. Guess what? There's not
Yeah,
one part of your team that is sexy right now. So
right. And
build
your
the
quarterback
O-line.
wants to survive.
Right.
Sure, they got Tony Pollard, don't they?
Good God. And I mean, you kind of just gave Calvin Ridley $90 million. I think Levis needs some time to get the football to him.
He's overpaid.
Right.
Well, no disagreement there.
But you're still paying him. So
I mean,
And
did he really have that much of that great of a year in Jacksonville?
no, he did not.
So I mean,
but it's Jacksonville.
yeah.
I'm just trying to see who they brought in for their top 30s that would conceivably go instead of Alt. They brought in. Oh no, Bowers was at the combine, so that's like a 20-minute meeting.
Right.
They brought in
Yeah, like I
Guyton,
said,
the offensive
it's-
tackle.
I mean, the Chargers technically could snag him too. But
Yeah,
the Chargers
they
need wide
could.
receivers. But the Chargers, we know, needs wide receiver. They need wide receivers so bad. It's not funny.
It's going to be hilarious with Jim Harbaugh in charge of the Chargers, and suddenly they run 8 out of every 10 plays
Yeah, but
just because.
I don't know. I mean, he had a very good balance when he was with San Francisco. He balanced it very well. I really don't see how he will change that. I mean, granted, I think it will be a little bit. I mean, beforehand, Herbert had to pretty much throw everything because nobody wanted to run, but then nobody could catch what Herbert's throwing because nobody's healthy enough to stay on the damn field. And he can't work a chemistry or get timing with anybody because nobody can stay healthy. So I think Jim will balance it out just like he did with San Fran, and I think they'll be fine. I really do. He'll go through his brother's rejects. it's pretty much what it is.
They like to share.
Yeah. It's like he'll go through his brother's rejects and then go, okay, well, let me see what else I can grab.
The only thing they don't share is that Super Bowl ring for 2012.
Right. Anyways,
Atlanta at 8.
if Minnesota does come up into that 5 spot and the Chargers end up with the 2 picks, that later on pick, Corum could definitely pretty much about go.
He ain't going in the first round.
No, he's not going in the first round.
If Harbaugh wants him,
no, Harbaugh can get him in the second.
The bad thing about it is any mock draft I've seen, I haven't seen Blake anywhere in the top 3 rounds, and that's kind of disappointing to me.
I was going to say, if he wants him, he can get him in the second. There's no reason not to. At the same time, Harbaugh's not making the pick. Yes, he has input.
Well, I was going to say there's going to be a lot of input.
Yes, of course.
I'm willing to bet there will be a lot of input of, okay, this is what I need.
Don't be surprised if he drafts more than one, too, for kid from Michigan.
Oh, that wouldn't surprise me at
I
all.
wouldn't. It doesn't surprise me.
I mean, draft winners. I mean, why wouldn't you?
I disagree, Rod. I mean, the dude looked pretty damn good in the Rose Bowl.
Falcons. What's Atlanta doing?
I said, we and Sam both said Dallas Turner.
It has to be.
Could see that. They'd be happy he made it there.
If not, they could go that Verse kid. I mean, they're literally going to have their pick of an end at this point if they wanted to.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, granted, I think the one mock draft, that didn't have them taking the defensive edge, had them taking the corner. I can't think of what the hell his name is.
Him or Verse, right? Turner
Yeah.
or Verse. Yeah, it was just one of those two. I think somebody went out on a limb and said the Bills were going to jump up into this spot and take a receiver. I'm like, dude, just go away.
That would be one hell of a climb.
Yeah, no kidding. to get a receiver. I'm like, seriously? No.
Well, hey, Buffalo's fine. They got Curtis Samuel.
At the same, Jesus.
Wow, and he said it with a straight face too. That was good, Adam. That was really good.
At the same time, though, can you picture a Falcons offense with Kirk Cousins throwing to Drake London and Neighbors?
Ooh, that'd be scary.
That would be. I mean, and I don't think
never getting drafted again in fantasy.
Think about this though. If that's the case, it looks like Kirk Cousins loves his LSU wide receivers.
Just throwing that out there. I mean, yeah, I understand.
I didn't even think about that one.
I understand. Edge rusher is huge, and we haven't even talked about until now. We haven't talked about one coming off the board.
Right.
But I'm just saying, it's like that's one hell of a 1-2 punch at wide receiver.
And
then you have Kyle Pitts too. Don't forget.
Through Chicago and not let Chicago get a wide receiver.
Just throwing that out there. I mean, think about that offense though. You got Kirk Cousins, London, Pitts, Neighbors, Robinson, and actually being used properly.
Right. I made the comment earlier that I think that between these two picks back to back, they could be both the defensive edges if they don't go wide receiver. But like I said, if say Atlanta passes on Turner, imagine Chicago picking up Turner. I know they're in your division, but you put Turner on that line with Sweat and everything else that they did. Their defense was decent toward the end of the year last year.
Oh, you're absolutely right. And I would not necessarily want to see that except for one little detail, which is that means when we kick our field goal, we win. Because it would be 3-0.
Yeah, I mean, or a safety.
What's up, Kyle? How are you?
What up, Kyle?
And it's not like if Harrison is gone and Neighbors is gone, it's not like that doesn't leave other wide receivers there for Chicago.
And
the Washington kid.
The Dunze.
Yes, that's the one.
I've even said too that a lot of people are sleeping on the kid, but Brian Thomas from LSU.
Yeah.
High.
No, I mean he's mid first rounder can easily. I mean we're talking about what, pick 9, so
yeah,
it's not.
I mean I see him a lot. I see that Thomas kid's name a lot with Buffalo.
I was gonna say the same thing. That's really the guy that I've seen a lot with Buffalo too. So.
I mean, Jets in this scenario, the Jets are basically they're running the card up there with Bowers, right?
Yeah, you would think. But then I've seen some too, like George brought up one earlier, where they take the kid out of Oregon State.
I mean, it's always nice to hear that we actually might know what the hell we're talking about.
Well, we can just be like Mel Kiper and just say what we want to say and be completely wrong every year.
I mean, if they're willing to give me his salary, I'm willing to be wrong every time. I'm perfectly okay with that.
You got to work on saying Todd a lot.
Talise Fuega. That's who it was. Talise Fuega.
I want to hear.
I'm not taking his hair.
I want to hear Sud say it.
Oh, Talise Fuega. We'd be here for a while.
Alias.
Alias and
Fuego.
Yeah, I was gonna say, or the Alamuiwa Fashunu,
yes,
the Penn State. Come on, Sam, you got it right. You got that dude's name down.
Pretty sure
right?
You're accurate on that. Sounds about accurate.
I was giving it my best shot. I was giving it my
best
shot.
You gave it a good shot.
You know, they got him lined up going into the Saints. So, I mean. There's another jersey we'd have to get Suds going. Oh yeah, try this one on for size, buddy boy.
Okay, so I'm gonna say this: if we make the assumption that Minnesota moves up to the Chargers spot, just for giggles.
Yeah.
So then this is their first pick. I think you might have just nailed what their pick would be because you can get Fashanu. You've got a tackle, hardest position to fill.
Yeah.
And yeah, I understand wide receiver.
But the wide receiver, so you take your stud tackle
Yeah,
now and you can get your
later.
wide receiver later.
Yeah.
Because you can still turn around and go get Worthy or something, or the kid from South Carolina, or any of the other many receivers that are in the draft at that 23rd pick. I'm just curious what you guys think. Like, every year we always have that one kid, like I know Zolt's brought it up, that they didn't give out as many green room passes or whatever this year because of the fact they're tired of seeing kids sit there. Who's going to be that guy this year?
I don't know.
There's always one every year
of how they did it.
Well, there's a couple. Well, 2 years back, there were like 7 dudes sitting back there for second round. And it's like, well, okay. And they were supposed to be top 15 picks.
Right.
And they weren't.
Yeah,
like I said, it's all hit and miss. I mean, before you know it, it's going to be like the Heisman. You're only going to have the top 10 dudes, and then that's it.
I mean, we're not going to see it this year just because they only allowed 15 invites to go out and not everybody returned them. So I think we're only going to have 13 people there, and they only invited people that they estimate to be picked in the first 24 picks. So they are really getting to the point where they do not want anybody sitting in the green room with like 10 picks to go. Well, they want everybody gone by then. Right.
I mean, don't get me wrong, the girl he had was nice to look at the whole time. They kept showing him with her sitting next to him, but
they did not. Neither one of those got an invite.
No,
it was the top 3.
May, Daniels, and Williams.
Yeah. JJ got an invite, but he did not answer them in time. So he ain't going.
Well, he said
it's not like he's far.
No, he said he's literally, like, they interviewed him and he said he's going to be at his house, which is like 5 minutes from the stadium.
Okay. So he could drive on up.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was going to say, he can sit there and just turn around and take an Uber. No, hang on. I'll be right there. Give me 5 minutes. I mean, hell, they take 15 to 20 minutes to hurry up and steam press the jersey to begin with in the back, I mean, geez, oh Pete's. Now that they're putting the names on the jerseys now with the number 1 on it. It takes almost 20 minutes for them to finally show up on stage.
I want to see it where we finally have that 1 year where the letter it's like hanging by just hanging down as they're picking it up, and there's something wrong with one of the letters and it's hanging, because it hasn't happened yet. It'd be nice to see it finally happen once.
No, because it's a steam press. It's a heated steam press. That's how they're doing it.
And by the way, that's a Detroit company that does that on the spot for the draft.
Really?
Yes.
Did not know that. See, you learn something new every day.
So assuming Denver stays pat at 12, are you grabbing Penix here?
How desperate? I mean, no, you don't need to. You got Zach Wilson. You're fine.
Wow. Okay, Rod, we're not laughing at your comment that I just threw up. I took it off.
Oh my God. We're going to be that is going to be a running joke. I swear to God.
I'm not going to ask how much that ran you or when you put that reservation in, because it was a solid 3 weeks ago. I checked up by me at the hotel under the sign. No, literally like 25 miles north of the city, but it's a straight shot. And they were 3 weeks ago. It was double rates for Thursday, Friday, Saturday. I have no idea what it is now. I'm assuming it's either triple or booked. So,
are you not even going, Zolt?
I'm not gonna fight 1 million damn people.
I get it
when I can watch it on the TV.
That's what I did when I came to Philly. I didn't even bother.
Yeah. There's okay. Never mind.
Yeah,
you got to hook up.
Yep.
100% comped. Holy crap!
Nice.
Nice.
That's a nice one that pays out.
Yeah,
Hey,
I was
wait a
gonna say-
minute. Does she have any connections to Ford Field so we can do the draft thing? Because I still want to do that. That's a pretty cool idea.
Doing the fantasy draft.
Yeah,
at
the
Ford
fantasy
Field.
draft at Ford Field.
One of these years.
Yeah.
Yeah, that doesn't surprise me at all. That actually
Yikes.
feels low. That feels like you did that a while ago.
Wow. All right. So then the Raiders are behind them. And of
Raiders.
course, if one picks the quarterback, the other one is also still.
Are then the Raiders going Bo Nix? Because
That's all that's left.
Doug's head might pop off.
Oh my God. It's a good thing Doug left the room.
They're going to take him and he's going to start day one.
11 months ago sounds about right for that price.
Yeah. Yeah, because that's why I said the Raiders, between the Raiders, the Broncos, the Giants, the Vikings, you're looking at people who want quarterbacks. I mean, personally, I think the Raiders would still be fine with Aiden, but they needed to turn around and work on an offensive line.
Boiler up, baby.
That was the Raiders' problem. Because if the kids got time, I mean, Carr still didn't have time. Aiden still didn't have time because that offensive line is garbage. Total garbage.
Who is the quarterbacks in Vegas? O'Connell and who else?
Gardner Minshew.
Yeah, they say. I knew they signed somebody.
Yes.
Minshew. Yeah, it's Minshew.
Mississippi mustache.
And household name, Anthony Brown.
Penn State.
If you say so.
I'm pretty sure. I think he might not. I don't know. The name sounds familiar.
Could the Raiders look at the Oregon State kid, the tackle Fuaga, or the?
Yeah, I was definitely thinking that myself, because since he's still there, but at the same time, in this scenario, Dallas Turner is still there.
Put him with Max Crosby. Holy crap!
And that might be Christian Wilkins too. Oh man,
that might be irresistible.
Well, yeah, but if they need somebody for the offensive line, you're looking at Latham.
This is the Raiders. Let's
throw everything out the window.
Put logic into it.
Yeah,
I know.
This is Flash.
It's like, hey,
you're in Vegas.
This is what they need.
See what the Raiders do for their draft board is it's literally a dartboard. They have the players that they want on the dartboard in different spots. The minute the player gets drafted, they pull them off. It's their pick. They spin the guy around 3 times, put the blindfold on him, throw the dart wherever it lands. That's who they pick. That's how they ended up with Jamarcus Russell.
Oh. Well,
throw the dart. They throw the dart and it hits out Frank Gore Jr.
Well, they could also get Mims from Georgia. I know that would make Tyler happy that I happen to mention that. But
come on, man!
You're welcome.
See, here's the thing: as badly as I know, I want the Eagles to pursue a corner because I freaking need one. Mims is such an intriguing prospect because he's so freaking athletic for that ginormous Jordan Davis-like frame of his. He's literally the Jordan Davis version of an offensive tackle. He's a freaking monster. I've never seen a man that large move as quick as he does.
Uh, 14 Fashunu is pretty much the lock-in apparently everywhere for the Saints pick.
I mean, I'll take your word for it. I don't have any reason to doubt it. I'm sure they'd be looking at the wide receivers that are there to pair up with Olave. But no, I get it. O-line has fallen to you. Why wouldn't you take it? Colts are an interesting team.
Yeah, and I brought something up because it happened to pop up earlier. They're like, "Hey, we're willing to move up or down." I'm like, "Well, no kidding, stupid. Of course you are. You're in the middle of the draft. Of course you're willing to move up or down."
We are at 15 and we want it.
I mean, yeah, Captain Obvious. Duh.
They
It's
go
like,
Mitchell.
okay. Yeah, that's
What
what I saw. I saw Mitchell in a few. Who else was it? It's a little bit all over the board. A couple of them have him. Somebody else has Cooper DeJean. Another one's got Latu. Wow. Ooh.
The kid from UCLA.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Ooh,
it's
that
from
was pretty.
UCLA.
Wow. I got away with that one. That was pretty good.
George, you're on a roll tonight.
I'm telling you, that the Samoan names, I'm just I'll take it for what it is.
I will say this about was it Quinion Mitchell?
Kid from Toledo.
They did not interview him.
I had
for whatever
I've
reason.
got a couple of the Raiders ones looking at him.
Well, here's something funny. I just happened to bring up some mock drafts. They actually have the Lions picking at 15 via trade with the Colts, and they take Mitchell from Toledo.
I saw. I was gonna say, just looking at the same dude I just saw too. That was interesting.
Pro Football Focus.
Yeah. Why? But why?
That's a big jump. That's a very big jump.
Well, you only in this trade, you receive pick number 15 and 117, and you give up 29, 61, and a third round in 25. Not horrible.
That's not a horrible
the Lions
takeaway.
Really need that secondary help.
Yeah,
they do. They do. Granted, they did make some signings that is going to help. And okay, so if we could just get into Lions now. Let me say this. It's Brad Holmes, and he's going to do what he does. He identifies players and gets them, regardless of whether
he froze again.
Move up, move back. He will do whatever he needs to do. That being said, there are some things that he has done. He hasn't drafted anybody he hasn't interviewed.
Right.
He did not interview Mitchell, which leads me to believe he would not move up for him. Now, at the same time, yes, we definitely need corner, especially with the Cam Sutton situation. We probably, if before Cam Sutton and his incident, we probably didn't need it, and we could literally have gone best player available wherever we drafted.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of back on the board as a need. However, like I said, we did sign 2 other guys. I'm going to say this, but I don't think we're taking corner in round 1.
Tight end.
I was going to say, I thought you might have been taking corner, and just because everybody has always said they're drinking the Kool-Aid, you'll be taking the Kool-Aid, man.
No, I mean, if he's there, probably, because we have interviewed him. I'm my entire point to not taking cornerback in 1 is how many there are, how deep this draft is.
It's ridiculous.
This is, I mean, whether at 15 or at 29, you take edge because edge falls off. So if you're telling me we're trading up to 15, give me Jared Verse. Hello. Thank you.
Yeah.
Jared Verse opposite Aiden Hutchinson.
Thank you.
Yeah. Let's go. Hey, Caleb, meet your new friends. You know?
I mean, because all you've got down, I mean, what you're looking at Darius or Chop Robinson, right? In that latter part, possibly.
I have actually heard that Darius Robinson for them is higher on the list than Chop Robinson, which
Really?
I'd love to have Pork Chop Robinson on my team. But again, I'm not going to doubt Brad Holmes because George, I threw the stat at you once a few weeks ago. Holmes has run 3 drafts. Out of those 3 drafts, only 1 player is not currently still on the roster.
Yep.
And he left via free agency. Every other draft pick is still on this roster. He has not missed. And granted, maybe he's due, but until then, I mean, I'm not going to second guess what he does. He can take a 4th round talent in the 1st round. I'm not going to second guess it right now.
I'm done with Pro Football Focus. I don't like their mock drafts.
Yeah, no, yeah, you can't trust me. You'll
No, they got the Browns trading
you'll
from.
be wanting to drink.
They got the Browns trading from 54 down to 74. So your first pick would not come until 74.
Yeah, no, that ain't happening.
And they're taking a tackle out of Notre Dame. Yeah, I'll pass on that one. Thank you.
No. Yeah, no.
Yeah, I mean, for Detroit, I don't assume they're going to move up because I think too many teams are looking to move up. That I don't think they're going to make that call. They stay at 29. Personally, I think they're going Darius Robinson. I'd be okay with Kool-Aid. I know they've interviewed Rakestraw as well, so they're definitely looking. It's just going to be best player that's still there on the board.
I just love the idea that anybody that takes that kid like is going to have high jersey sales and just because of the name.
Right, no doubt. I mean, you can get your corner. You can get a corner in round 2, which I would imagine that they would. They might even move up further up in round 2 to get the guy that they're looking for.
Great marketing idea. Sorry, before I forget, whoever drafts him, all they have to do is put some dreads on the Kool-Aid man, and there's your shirt.
Yeah, you've got an early round 3 in which I would see them taking a wide receiver since it's deep in wide receiver this year as well.
Yeah.
You could easily get your number 3 guy.
The thing is like going, and I just went through going through that mock. There's like 5 receivers I totally forgot about. Like the kid from Troy Franklin from Oregon is out there.
Did we say? I don't think we specified whether the Raiders took him. I definitely threw that out there that if Dallas Turner was,
we
there
haven't really made
Raiders,
picks at this point. We're just kind of tossing names out.
I was going to say we did not. Dallas Turner we talked about with Atlanta.
Yeah, but I'm seeing him falling as far as Seattle.
I don't see. I don't know that happens. I have to believe by 15 he's gone.
I was going to say,
right?
Literally everything. Turner is heavy in the Atlanta spot, and a couple of them have verse. From what I had gone through, the 12 that I've been through here already, and it's Turner all day in Atlanta.
Scott is definitely right. I would not be surprised at all if Detroit moves out of the first round and have your host city not have a pick in the first round.
Oh, and especially for how many people are sitting how long? Oh, oof.
That's fine. Believe me, right now, you are not going to find people throwing negative comments at the organization, regardless of what they do. I mean, sure, we want to make a pick, but they're right now they're in the driver's seat, and we're all on board. And just go, just take us wherever we're going.
Oh,
no, I agree.
Oh, I love this time of year. Looking at 9,000 mock drafts just to see who's going where.
For not one of them to be accurate.
But the thing is this one. I'll wait till we get to it if we get to it in time. But there's one I just saw that I did not expect this pick. So we'll wait till we get to that number if we get there.
Oh, and I just remembered a story since somebody I know is kind of clued into a few things that happened downtown. Just so y'all know, come Thursday, if you happen to be in town for the draft and want to have a little bit of fun, just be aware the courts are not going to be open Thursday or Friday. So whatever you do,
you're sitting until Monday.
Make sure that it can either be taken care of virtually.
Oh boy.
Or you might be here for a few days.
Yikes.
Just enough.
I was gonna say I'll let Kyle and Justin know on Wednesday. I'll be like, hey fellas, Justin.
Oh, Kyle going too?
I thought he said that they were both going, but I'll let him know that, hey, just an FYI. You screw up, you could be sitting there till Monday.
At least the stuff downtown. So, if you're staying somewhere else, and that's your own problem, but whatever. Right. I'm just letting you know. Fair warning.
Are the Tigers in town?
Oh, hell if I know.
I'm just saying traffic could be
I hope
interesting.
not. I really hope not, because if you haven't been to Detroit, that is right next door to Ford Field. And granted, the draft isn't at Ford
That's what I
Field,
was wondering.
but there will be nowhere to park if they're at home. I'm assuming they're not.
Let's see what the schedule.
Scott's got it. He says no, they're in Tampa. Thanks, Scott.
Thank you, sir. Yeah,
And
as far as people,
ugly,
right? And if the other two teams, we don't have to worry about.
Right.
Tigers be playing in front of 30 people.
Right. And the problem is those 30 people are going to be playing bumper cars with the other 3 million.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good thing that they're out of town, because that'd be ugly. That'd be seriously ugly.
What's Bryce's Seattle team going to do at 16, George?
Defense.
I was gonna say they've lost so much in the linebacking core. I figured they're tagging a linebacker.
16.
Troy Fatunu from Washington is one that I was seeing and eyeballing.
Here's one for you. The one I'm looking at right now for the mock has Jared Verse slip into them.
Yeah, he won't get that far. No, nine of these guys all have Troy Fatunu on their spot with Seattle.
Well, what do they know?
I don't know. It's pretty much about, I guess, none of these guys they're moving, because they even turn around and have Terry and Arnold sitting there for the Jags at corner in the next spots. So I don't know. Maybe that might be something there. I don't know.
I would think maybe like Murphy, the tackle out of Texas, something along those lines.
And just a little hint to everybody that if you're not hip to it, get yourself a little X or Twitter account, and you can refresh your Twitter and get the picks faster than they come across on ESPN.
Wrong. That's so wrong.
No, it's not. No, it's not.
See, I like doing it because then I'll get in the chat and be like, "Ooh, I know who they picked," and everybody's like, "Shut up!" I'm like, "What?"
Well, it was funny on our show earlier. I was being accused that every time we did our draft shows for the past few years, I was being accused of knowing the picks before everyone else. And all I would say was, no, I knew who the Eagles traded with. I didn't say who they picked. I knew who they traded with.
Right.
I didn't know any picks. But Seattle is actually on our show. I said Seattle could be a possible trade up spot for the Eagles, because they say the Eagles want to trade up. And the reason that Seattle is such an intriguing option is they don't own a second round pick, and we own 2 of them.
Bumper to bumper is going to occur. Rod is correct.
Hang on. Let me get into this though. Thursday they're off. Friday they're at home against Kansas City, but it's a 1:00 game.
Right. Saturday is a 6:10.
1:00 on a Friday. So they will be long gone by the time anything happens.
Or people are staying.
Or people are staying. You're getting your parking spots early.
Yeah. You're damn right. Yep.
And then Saturday is at home, but it's at 6, and it's day 3 of the draft. It's
nobody's really caring at that point.
Yeah, and at this point, people are trying to figure out how they're getting home.
No, that's on Sunday. They're still there to celebrate and drink and everything else. Remember, you have New York Jet fans traveling. Remember that.
Oh, and you know what? Honestly, I was going to say that Tigers home game that might sell out.
Sam. Well played, Sam.
The Tigers home game could sell out just for something to do while you're in town.
True.
Yeah.
True.
I mean, just what the hell?
They're not playing terrible baseball right now.
They're not. They're not. Nowhere near as bad as we kind of thought they would. So if the Eagles move up to 16, what's it for?
Dijon.
It's a corner. The reports are right now that that Howie Roseman is looking for a corner, because I've continued to tell people this. I keep being told I'm crazy because they have 2 starting corners. I said, no, they have 2 aging corners. One is probably going to retire next year in Slay because it kind of sounded like that when he was interviewed on NFL a few months ago. And I'm sorry if all you have to go do is watch the Bucks playoff game. There's no way James Bradbury can be on this team next year. I don't care about dead cap hits. How do we don't know who our GM is? He's the guy who manipulates the salary cap better than anybody. I don't care about dead cap hits.
And there's no Georgia DBs that are that ranked that high, right? Because I mean, you guys have that thing for Georgia guys lately.
No, the highest ranked one will be Lassiter, but he wouldn't go until the second round. So
no, I'm seeing a lot of Terrian Arnold for you guys.
I will literally explode live on air if they get Terry and Arnold because that's my guy. I freaking love Terry and Arnold.
I was going to say, that's who they've got the Jags snagging.
Tell the Jags to go somewhere else.
Well, I mean, in the scenario we're talking, I mean, you're literally just jumping ahead of them. So
yeah, exactly.
But I mean, that's moving up 6 spots.
6 spots.
Yeah.
That's reasonable at the back half of the first round.
I mean, hell, they moved up 1 spot last year just to get Jalen Carter.
Yeah. Okay. So then we're at the Bengals at 18.
Offensive lineman, please.
D lineman.
I was going to say they need offensive linemen. They need defensive linemen.
Would this be Amarius Mims?
Yeah.
Could it be, if it's defensive line, could it be the kid from Texas?
Murphy. Yeah. I see a lot of him right now.
Because they lost DJ Reader, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Didn't he sign Detroit?
Yeah.
Yes. As a matter of fact, he did.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
There you go.
Hang on a second. I brought up Mims. We haven't even discussed J.C. Latham yet.
Right. The other tackle from Alabama.
Yep.
A wealth of offensive tackle.
No, we brought him up with the Raiders pick.
We brought up like 4 guys with the Raiders pick.
You can probably bring up another 12 guys with the Raiders pick. It's the Raiders.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like the Giants. They need 40 guys, but.
They're so bad they need practice squad players, George.
Right.
But at least their
Bengals can
fans
go
travel to their games, unlike Jets fans.
Bengals could go on numerous options. I mean, they need a lot too.
Well, Bengals need to, let's see, pay Joe Burrow $55 million for whatever it was he did last year.
T. Higgins.
They ain't going to pay T. Higgins. They're just giving him the franchise money.
He gone.
He gone.
Ace will be up for a deal in a few years, which is why you can't pay Higgins.
Well, I was going to say, Chase, they're trying to negotiate this offseason.
Right.
Well, they better because, like I said,
right. It's only going to get more.
Smith.
Yeah.
Devontae Smith got 25. Justin Jefferson's going to get well over that, and Chase is a lot.
Chase will be right there with them.
Who's our running back?
It's not Mixon
Hang
anymore.
on.
They signed somebody.
Chase Brown.
Well, Chase Brown is the kid from Illinois, but I thought they signed
Zach Moss.
That's the one I was
Zach
thinking
Moss,
of. Okay.
there we go.
In other words, Chase Brown.
But they also have Chris Evans.
Dude,
Chase Brown.
and Travion Williams. I mean, and we just went through the entire depth chart. So,
Whoops.
Chase Brown kid didn't look bad.
No,
again, though, you are not using a first round on a running back.
No.
No.
Because the reason I said that because one of the mocks I just looked at back in I think they pick in the 90s had him taking Corum.
As if Cleveland doesn't beat him to the punch.
I ain't gonna be mad at it. I will buy that jersey to go with my number 2 yellow maize one in the closet right now.
You're the first one in line.
So is Cincinnati going to do the thing we've been yelling at for the past 2 years and actually draft offensive line?
No, because why would they listen to us?
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, didn't they sign a bunch in the offseason?
Does it ever help?
Well, I mean,
Listen, until they get the offensive line right, every draft and free agency, I would just replay the Super Bowls that year's last play and having
Yeah.
Aaron Donald just completely manhandle whoever that poor guy at left guard was and say, see this? Until we get this right, we're not changing our
Yeah,
philosophy.
bad thing is he retires how many years later, and the Bengals are like, crap.
Yeah, right.
I forgot they got Jaceki too.
Yeah. I guess
Oh, I forgot this.
the white boy Gritty and the Natty. Worst Gritty ever. That's exactly why I will never attempt it, because I feel like I look like that or worse.
You probably pull a hamstring,
I mean, that or slip a disc in the back.
right?
I'm trying to see who they used top 30 visits on that we could realistically throw here. They've got Fawatanu from Washington, the guard, Fuaga from Oregon State.
Just because you interview him doesn't mean you're going to draft him.
No, but it definitely means.
Well,
I mean,
at least you looked at 'em.
using a top 30, you only get 30 of them.
Right.
So they're definitely guys that you're taking a look at. McKinley Jackson, the nose tackle from Texas A&M.
Do they have Mims on the list?
Yes. Yep. He took a 30.
Is Guyton on that list?
So it's him or Murphy?
No.
What about
Oh,
the JPJ?
Yeah, he's. Oh no, sorry. They met with him at the combine. They did not use a top
Okay.
30 on him.
I was gonna say the JPJ kid. They got going to Pittsburgh.
Everyone
Everywhere.
Yeah.
Every freaking person's got him.
Because they don't have Pouncey no more.
Yeah,
You got, I mean, multiple defensive tackles: Justin Rogers, Mason Smith, Tavondre Sweat.
I keep forgetting about Sweat.
Xavier
Can't forget
Thomas,
about his
defensive
brothers
end.
on my team.
So their top 30s, for at least for the higher up guys, is all defensive line, offensive line,
So they're going on the line somewhere.
most likely.
yeah. Which leaves Latu for the Rams.
See, this is where I'm glad you brought that up, because this is from that Ari Mirov or whatever his name is. This is his mock draft. And this is the one that surprises the shit out of me. Pardon my French. He has the Rams taking Bo Nix.
Okay, you do need to replace Stafford sooner rather than later.
Well, they drafted Bennett last year.
But Bennett's gone. He's not even on the team. He left for personal reasons.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. I forgot about that.
Because he was having some sort of alcohol issues.
I forgot he checked himself in. That's right.
Okay, so I'm showing him still technically under contract for the team. This is from January. McVay said, uncertain if he'll remain, saying it's quote unquote a conversation for another time. So
they're trying to really keep, it's like, hey, listen, we recognize that he's got a problem. He's taking care of it, and
let's give him the privacy to handle it.
Yeah, let's let him handle it, and we don't need to be we don't need to bring it up.
And not to under the bus or anything, but he is already 26, and he used a 4th rounder on him. It's not like
you'd lose much.
You expended a whole lot of capital on him. I could see them going another route. God, I don't know if they'd be willing to pull that trigger.
I just thought that was wild when I brought up the mock and I see that Bo Nix is wild,
actually.
I'm like, that's the only one I've seen like that.
And here's the thing. I have seen so little about the Rams. I literally have no idea what they're going to do.
Well, I mean, let's think about it. If you know that Stafford's only, he's 2 more years on the contract?
Yeah, but you got to replace Aaron Donald.
Right, which Latu does. But I mean, if you're looking at offensively, it's like, okay, who's next in throwing to Cup and Puka and these guys? all right, you need that next body. And Bennett was supposed to be it. Well, now it's like, hey, this might be a pretty good shot at, hey, let's take a flyer out on the kid and, work him into it. You've got a couple of years to work him into it.
They do have Jimmy Garoppolo.
Enough said.
At least for part of the season.
All right, that's the end of the show, folks. We got our Jimmy G reference. We call it a night.
While it lasted.
Ah.
This was fun. Hey, all right. Okay. Well, that just killed it. Thank you very much for playing. Sanders is good night, fellas.
Pittsburgh. What's Pittsburgh? What do we say?
Can skip them. Who cares? Skip them 20. We don't need to worry about. We don't give a shit about them.
Miami at 21.
No, this one is disgusting. He's got now you already know what they have at wide receiver on Waddle, Tyreek Hill. Ari's got him taking Worthy.
Really?
Imagine that trio.
Really?
Good. Yes. I don't know if you can see.
Tua just to overthrow them when it's 12 degrees outside.
Just so you know.
Wow.
That's
a stretch.
I just don't see it. I just don't.
I don't either, but that's why I'm glad I found this one, because this dude's all over the freaking place, like with stuff you wouldn't expect.
I was going to say he's smoking some good stuff.
I mean, it's probably legal where he's at,
right? Well, because everybody's got something different. I mean, we're looking at corner, offensive tackle.
They interviewed JPJ.
Did they?
Yep.
They've even somebody's got him taking Verse at 21. I don't think Verse is making it that far.
Well, they got to make up for losing Christian Wilkins.
Yeah, well,
and Chubb's coming off that injury.
Yeah,
they've also got him looking at Chop.
Both their pass rushers.
Somebody's got him taking Chop Robinson.
I think it's a little early, but I mean, if you fall in love with a guy, you grab him.
I mean,
I could see
it's not that far of a stretch from where Chop's going. I mean, from 21 to 25. Yeah. I mean, it's only four body difference.
Right.
You're in the back end of the draft. It's only a 4 body difference. I don't know.
So let me give a little rundown with Chop real quick. The only reason that a lot of people view him, some don't view him as a first rounder, he's not always been an edge rusher. When he was at Maryland, he was an off-ball linebacker. That then when he got to Penn State, they transitioned him to a pass rusher. He's got all the physical and athletic traits to be a top-tier edge rusher. It's just a lot of raw talent because he has not played the position long.
All right, and then you get Philly's pick.
If he didn't move up.
Yeah, if they stay at 22.
So what's your solid? This is pretty much about where you think who they're taking, Sam, at 22.
Okay, well, you've already heard my opinion if they move up. If they move up, it's going to be one of the three of Mitchell, Arnold, and maybe DeJean. I've had some mocks say DeJean will be there at 22 because there's some teams concerned about the leg injury he had last year, but then there's ones that say they're going to have to move up. If they stay at 22, there's two other corners I could see. Either Wiggins, the kid from Clemson, or Kool-Aid, the other Bama corner. But I also would not be surprised if they looked at Chop because they did trade Hassan Reddick.
Yeah, the one I was going to say, two of the guys they got between Chop, they've got Kool-Aid, and they got DeJean. Those are the three names that I'm seeing at 22.
I don't see them going, like me and Tyler were talking about earlier on our show. They're going to draft a tackle, but they're not doing it here. There's too many. Like, here's the thing. yes, it was good to do what they did with Jason Kelsey, with Cam Jurgens, too. They got his replacement. Lane Johnson's got 2 more years left on his deal. Lane Johnson is not retired, is probably going to play out those 2 years, and then he may start considering retirement. They don't necessarily have to draft his replacement this year. I still think they will try, but it's not going to be here at 22. They have too many other they have too much needs on defense to worry about that right now. Not to mention they haven't drafted a corner in the first round since 2002. I was freaking 6.
You guys certainly brought them all in for interviews, like all of them, everybody.
Oh, all they've
if they're in the
interviewed is
draft, you
offensive
interview
lineman and corner.
Yeah. Well, and in that spot, you're definitely bringing all. You're definitely taking everybody within that spot from about 15 all the way down to 35. You're bringing in all those guys because you're going to end up with one of them.
The one thing I will say is that they are very big on character guys and how they interview. And apparently Terry and Arnold had a absolutely phenomenal interview with them this past week. So if he's there at 16, and because Seattle doesn't need a corner, if he's there past 15, they're going to trade up with Seattle. They're going to offer them 22, 50, or 53. Take your pick. I really don't care. They're 3 spots apart. Take your freaking pick. I don't really care. And probably some type of a 2025 pick, because they already don't have a 3rd rounder this year, so they can't afford to really dip too more into this year. But 22, I'll just say 50, because you'll just make Seattle happy, give them the better one. 50, and some type of maybe a 4th or 5th and 25 will get it done. And if I walk out of the first night with Terry and Arnold, I may just turn my stream off happy. I won't be able to contain my excitement.
Which then brings us at 23, which could be the secondary Chargers pick.
This could be the kid from LSU, the wide receiver.
I was going to say, if this is a second Chargers pick, this is where you go wide receiver and you get somebody with some skill.
Or just anybody in general, because they don't have the bodies.
Yeah. I mean, in theory, hell, you could go double offensive line. You're just going to be paying out the ear in 4 years.
Yeah.
Well, they're showing the Brian Thomas kid from LSU, pretty much, if that trade goes.
If people don't think about him either, because Worthy gets all their love, but that Mitchell kid from Texas is another one that could be a decent receiver too. Because I think it's too early for the other Washington receivers like the McMillan and Polk. I don't think they're going to go in the first round, but they could be a steal in the second.
Okay. So the Cowboys trade out of the first round here.
I mean, why not?
No, they got a draft.
I mean, they didn't do anything for free agency for how long?
I was going to say, can they afford to pick somebody?
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Can they actually pay somebody? No, they're going to trade out of the first round. Who's jumping back in?
I mean, they still have a quarterback who needs a new deal. They need to pay a star pass rusher. They need to pay a star wide receiver.
Rod, that's the kid that is set at the Browns at 54.
I don't know if he'll fall that far.
They interviewed a lot of wide receivers, a lot of O linemen in general, some linebackers. That's what they went for.
Tyler Guyton is a possibility.
Yeah, I mean he was interviewed. That center from we haven't even brought up that center from Duke. His name, or is that? No, that's Oklahoma.
Barton.
Barton. I mean, we haven't even mentioned him.
You were thinking of Guyton when you said Oklahoma.
Yeah.
One of them shows Barton at for the Dolphins at 21.
I think that's more likely than a third wide receiver.
Yeah.
It's Dallas. I could certainly see them going O-line because you can't afford to pay anybody else, and you are stuck with what you've got right now this year. So you might as well try to buy Dak a little bit more time so that he can accurately throw that interception.
A couple guys have Mims, the other guys have Guyton.
Not to mention they've lost Tyler Biotis, their center, and they lost Tyron Smith. So they're going to need to address the offensive line at some point.
Ironically, somebody's got Xavier Worthy sitting here.
You know how they address the offensive line? By drafting the defensive line. That's something Jerry would do.
Jerry's lost it at this point. He honestly has.
The next Al Davis.
This is interesting.
Yeah, we both clicked on it at the same time.
Yeah, that's interesting. Huh. I did not think about that.
Well, according to Ari, Nick's already be gone at 19.
Think about that. And especially because they're not doing Bo Diddley with Dak. That, wow. Rod, that is wow. That is, buddy, we're going to, if this happens, hey, Rod gets credit. You heard it here first.
Rod. That's if the Rams don't take him at 19.
I'm talking about the second half of this comment.
Oh, Deanna and Shedeur.
I am talking about the second half of this comment.
I don't see what's so great about it. I don't think Shedeur's all that great.
It's Jerry.
Well, then he could take a kid that's not going to do nothing for you. He already came out and said that he never said that. They interviewed him. He said he's like, I'm all about them playing in the NFL. It doesn't matter for what team.
Oh, okay. And you believe that?
I was referring more to the comment where it says Dion will be in Dallas. Jumping ship on Colorado.
Yeah, after 2 seasons?
Yeah, of course. Of course.
He's going to take McCarthy's job.
I mean, he's gone after this year regardless, I think.
Yeah, he's
exactly.
gone.
So it's all lining up.
It's going to line it right up. Look at that.
So you're going to replace him with a college head coach. Pick. What's Dion's record going to be at the end of his second year at Colorado? Between the 2 years, what do we think his record is going to be?
4 or 5 wins max,
probably. All that talk they did when USC came in, they just boat raced them.
Anyway,
I agree with Adam said. I don't see much in Shedeur and his kid. What's his name? Shedeur Sanders.
Yeah,
right.
I don't see. I don't.
You can have all the money in the world, but it doesn't mean you have the talent.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, so next up is Green Bay, where I see 1, 2, 3. 3 have Kool-Aid, 1 has Nate Wiggins, 1's got Latham here.
Nate Wiggins would actually be a decent spot for him to go.
It's pretty much whoever Philadelphia doesn't take. That's who else they turn around and just dumped in the Packers spot. It's like, I'm sorry.
No.
So if the Eagles don't take one, the Packers are going to take the other.
Well, no, that's called revenge because like 11 years ago, the Eagles were now. Granted, this is before Howie Roseman knew how to draft, and I'll admit that back then, this is when Howie Roseman was killing us with bad first rounders. They wanted Clinton Dix, and the Packers took him 2 picks before the Eagles The Eagles then panicked, traded back, all to take a pass rusher from Louisville who played like 8 snaps a year.
I will say this: Green Bay interviewed 5 different safeties.
Yeah, they lost Savage, didn't they?
But they signed McKinney from the Giants.
Yeah, I was gonna say they got the
He's not Savage though.
As weird as this,
Apparently,
because it sounds pretty weird to me, they used a top 30 pick or a top 30 interview on Gavin Hardison, quarterback, UTEP.
They like them no-name colleges, don't they?
really do.
Huh. So maybe for a second or third round.
I don't know.
I mean,
did you clear that with Mr. Love?
Yeah, he said he did not love the idea of it.
There you go. No, I mean, I could easily see Nate Wiggins going there just to make our lives miserable.
Next up, Tampa Bay. It's all over the place here.
Yeah.
Barton, Robinson.
Got to protect their quarterback.
Yeah.
I was gonna say both Robinsons, Barton is pretty much who they're lining up. And then
Carlton Davis.
And then Arizona is behind them, kind of in the same little ordeal. Is Robinson, Kool-Aid, Barton.
Yep.
It's kind of like, okay, they're just piggybacking right off of that.
Interestingly enough, they used the top 30 to interview Byron Murphy from Texas.
Really?
Yeah. They interviewed some cornerback from Michigan, Mike something.
Mikey Sainer still.
Love that kid.
He's so underrated.
He is. Like, they keep some mocks have the Eagles taking like a nickel corner in the second round because like they really don't have a long-term answer. And I'm getting so mad because as much as I like that kid Max Melton out of Rutgers, Sandishaw's just so much better. I don't know why I don't know why we're talking about this.
It's amazing how quickly he adjusted from wide receiver to DB and did so well at it.
Yeah, and another kid in this draft that's done that has been Guyton, the offensive tackle from Oklahoma. He was a defensive lineman 2 years ago, and now he's a projected first-round pick as an offensive tackle.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Some of these guys are just some of these guys, as they said with Chop Robinson, some of these guys are just raw prospects because they have not played the position that they're getting drafted to play long. Like, they've only played it for like 2 years. Like I said, Chop was an off-ball linebacker in Maryland, transferred to Penn State, and they turned him into an edge rusher, and that was probably be a first-round pick.
On to Buffalo.
Wide receiver all day.
I was going to say
it would have to be, right?
Mitchell from Texas. The one dude's got him taken.
The kid from Georgia, McConkey.
Lad McConkey.
I just want him in Cleveland for his name. McConkey dives in the dog pound.
I mean, this would be a good spot for Keon Coleman. Really, they could use anybody.
Everybody's for the that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. They're all showing Mitchell, except one dude's got him taking Graham Barton, and it's like, no, they need a wide receiver.
Yes, I mean, you can protect Josh Allen all day if
Allen can also run.
If nobody runs downfield, you have an issue.
Yeah, exactly.
They'll be fine. They're just going to run end arounds with Curtis Samuel the whole game.
So the Lions, we covered.
Yeah, I mean, it's staying here. Again, I think Darius Robinson. I think Darius Robinson is their target. I really do. The kid from Missouri.
Defensive lineman?
Yeah.
It's funny you say that because Ari says otherwise.
And that's fine. I mean,
There's a bunch of different things. Chops there, Kool-Aid's there. Tyler Nubin, safety from Minnesota. One guy's got Rakestraw.
Yeah,
Rakestraw. Holy cow.
Yep.
Here's one for you that nobody else is talking about because Ari just seems to be out on his own island with weird places and for places people to go.
What's he drinking now?
Zach Frazier, lineman, West Virginia. Offensive lineman, mind you.
Yeah, thanks for playing.
Yeah.
See?
Yeah.
At this point, that happens. Lions fans will just be mad and say they'd rather have the tight end.
Stop.
The whole Zolt's going to boot you from the room.
I could see the Lions going Tyler Nubin there. I mean, they did lose C.J. Gardner-Johnson. So, I mean, they could use another safety back there.
They could. I don't necessarily want them to use the first rounder on it, though. Whether it's Darius Robinson, it could be Rakestraw, it could be Kool-Aid. They used the top 30 on Terry and Arnold. So I think that might be where Detroit might move up is coming from.
All right. So, see, this is how it's going to be. I took back C.J. Gardner-Johnson from you, and now you're going to break my heart and go take Terry and Arnold from me. Okay. It's a full circle situation. I got it.
It could be.
I'll see you in the divisional round next year.
Yeah.
Right.
And then Baltimore, it looks like Guyton is one of their pretty much dominant picks, or Fontenot is also on a list. But Guyton seems to be heavy on that. There's also Jordan Morgan and McConkey in one other one. I don't know if Baltimore would go receiver.
Hang on. You're gonna give Lamar a wide receiver? Why would you do that?
I was gonna say it doesn't. I was just gonna say that doesn't make any sense.
Right.
Why would they get him a wide receiver? They just load up the line and so that they can block for Lamar to run.
They interviewed Xavier Worthy. They interviewed Chop Robinson. They interviewed Fontenot, the guard. I'm looking at guys that might actually be first rounders. Really, those are the only first rounders that they interviewed.
So they didn't, even though they've got Guyton. Oh, I was gonna say, touche, Rod. They did take Zay Flowers.
He turned out to be pretty decent for them last year.
Yeah, and to be fair, he got cleared of his off-season stuff, so pretty sure I read that somewhere.
And that puts the 49ers with Jordan Morgan. That's pretty much a slam dunk that I have seen all the way around. And I'm like, thank you. Yes.
Ari says otherwise.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I don't think he'd be upset with it, though.
Who is it?
Chop.
Oh.
Sorry. Need that offensive line on the left side.
Don't have either one of them listed as you guys using a visit on them.
Who?
Either of the two you guys mentioned.
Really?
You did not Chop and not Gordon?
Jordan Morgan?
Sorry. Correct.
So who do they use it?
Let's see. Eric All, tight end out of Iowa. Congratulations.
Yeah, he's not falling that far. Morons. Come on.
Bullard, the corner out of Georgia. You interviewed Corley, the wide receiver out of Western Kentucky. Cowing.
Who?
He might have froze for good.
He is. Oh yeah, he's frozen.
He is super froze.
There we go. I'm back. It's all good.
All right.
Jamal Hill, linebacker, Oregon. Marshawn Nealand, defensive end, Western Michigan.
Which I hear he's hot. He's starting to rise up. His name is the one that keeps coming up a lot more lately.
I've seen his name on a lot of these lists.
Mm-hmm.
Andrew Phillips, corner from Kentucky. Brendan Rice,
Yeah, gee, I
wide
wonder where that.
receiver.
Gee, I wonder-
Yeah, okay.
That last name sounds familiar.
He's going to be for
Jerry
the
Rice's
freaking
kid.
It's Jerry
Yup.
Rice's kid. Yeah,
Yup.
that'll be for latter rounds. Duh.
Smith Wade, the cornerback from Washington State. Salmataya, offensive tackle, BYU.
Who?
Wait a minute. Why?
First name Kingsley. Kingsley Suamatea. There we go. That's probably closer.
There's a name for you.
So,
As long as they don't go near Rosengarten, I don't care.
that's in the second one.
Good. You're not getting in there either. Because I'll tell you right now, if it's not, you'll get him if Howie Rosen doesn't get him. Because there's no way he's going to land 10 spots after the Eagles. Because they were saying about Rosengarten, they said he would be a top 10 pick next year if he returned to Washington for another year.
I'm baffled that they're thinking defense and not offensive line. It's like, guys, no, that left side is weak. I'm very surprised by that. That's why I've been looking and seeing Jordan Moore. I'm like, yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, the only two that are on this list are the Suamatea from BYU, offensive tackle, and Caden Wallace from Penn State.
Wow. Okay, Mr. Lynch, what the hell are you doing?
There's a possibility this is not a complete list because there's not 30 names listed on here. So,
Right.
Because, their teams are under no obligation to report
Right.
this is just who we know.
And then to cover for Rashid Rice, the Chiefs will take Lad McConkey.
I hope not.
I don't want that. Or they take Race Straw so they can cover up losing Snead.
Well, it's that or Nate Wiggins. They do need another corner. I know you don't want to. I know you don't want to see that.
Why do you keep giving me scenarios I don't want to see? Why are you doing this to me?
We are not okay. Our show is not here to make people happy.
Didn't you?
And that's your first round.
We like to mess with people. That's the best part about our show. And I know we have not done this in a long time, but we have almost gone the full 3 hours, which is amazing.
That's why we should have started at 7.
We have not done a 3-hour show in a long time.
That overtime check's that's gonna hurt, George.
Hey, I was letting the guys know. Dave Nickel turned around and found himself a spot. He found a home at Dunham's Sporting Goods store as a GM.
Woo-hoo.
So
there you go.
He found himself a nice little spot to go to.
All right. On that note, I got to go let a puppy out, so I got to go.
A puppy? Oh, that's right. You do have a new addition to the house.
Yeah. What the hell was I thinking?
Well, let's see. You said no the last time we heard about this, and yeah, apparently it didn't go over so well.
Still there.
It still happened.
Yeah. So good seeing you, Jens. Happy draft week. And I'll talk to you soon.
Yep.
Later, Sam.
Yeah.
Just to recap, Sam is on Birds of the Gridiron this Thursday during the draft show. I will be joining him as soon as Bryce's baseball game is over.
I'll tune in to talk shit.
And Kyle and Justin are doing
their show Wednesday.
Talking about balls on Wednesday from 7 to 9. So they will also be doing their pre-draft and other catch-up stuff that they've been wanting to talk about as well. So if you haven't had enough draft talk, guess what? There's still more to go.
3 more days.
in the rest of the week.
Adam, I know you got to go, but real quick, George, it took me until now to discover the mock draft from The Athletic that I was searching for. Just real quick, they have Buffalo moving up to 17 to take Brian Thomas from LSU. And The Athletic actually does a thing where they tell you exactly what they gave up to move up. So Bills trade picks 28, 133, 144, and a second rounder next year to take 17 from Jacksonville.
Huh.
In order to get a wide receiver.
Interesting. That is super interesting.
Otherwise, we're completely wrong on everything. So, that's good.
Right? I was going to say, we're just making stupid guesses as much as anybody else.
As much as anybody else.
Let's do what Mel Kiper does. We're not getting paid.
Exactly.
Yeah, I was going to say, and actually, we're probably closer on the correct picks than he is.
Most likely.
And Detroit trades out. Detroit trades out of the first round. So the Raiders give Detroit picks number 44 and 77 for pick 29, and they can grab Michael Penix.
Really?
Interesting.
Huh. That is.
Because at 13, the Raiders took Terry and Arnold. Sorry, Sam.
Okay.
End the show, George. End the show.
I was going to say, we'll catch y'all on the flip side. See y'all later. See you next week.